Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is, what day is it? Tuesday, October 10th. I can't believe it. Hopefully, you are with me. Lawnard's replay crew. This is the time where I get to chat with you before the live audience gets here. So, replay crew, love you. Today, we are talking about food court. We're going to talk why in a minute, but we're talking about food court because food court is needed. I have been off streaming for a week, or not off and away doing more streaming. I have not been streaming for the last week, and I missed chatting with all of you. I was chatting with lots of humans in person at Vid Summit in Texas. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I'm going to talk about that more in our members only live stream tomorrow evening. So that is what we are going to be talking about tomorrow. I have some stories for you. And today, while the world is heavy, one of the things I'm going to talk about to start that I find helpful, because I always feel helpless, and we're going to talk about those feelings of helplessness and how difficult it can be. One of the things I know I can do to help, hopefully you, is make sure that what we're covering today is a lighter topic that your brain can just be like, oh, food court, isn't it silly? Let's take a minute and just be like, oh, Starbucks, what are you doing? But also how I navigate information and how I look for information that is trusted, because in the wake of the terror attack in Israel, misinformation is super high. We are seeing old videos that aren't accurate, videos that are accurate. It's hard to tell which is which. And we're going to talk about how I parse information, so that if that's what you want to do, hopefully you feel confident in navigating the news in a really strange time, because the ability for information to be wrong or to be faked is wild. And we're seeing that not just in serious situations, but also with like people making Mr. Beast say things in an ad that he never said, or Tom Hanks or whoever. We live in kind of unprecedented times with that, where we have to learn to navigate all the things that come with being on social media, with a news cycle that is constant from social media users, and how to determine, kind of, and parse the facts in that. So that's what we're here to do today. So first, facts, then fuckery. That's what we're doing. YouTube's like, Emily, you're only 2 minutes in. What are you doing? That's what it needs to be. That's absolutely what it needs to be, or at least that's what it needs to be for me. So chat, that's what we are going to do. And I hope that that is truly, Lawnards, I hope that that is helpful for you. Because I really hope that that is the the need right now, because I can't help you feel better, and I can't help explain why the world is the way it is, but I can help you find the information that will do those things, because there are a few things I am good at. One of them is parsing information. So with all of that, we're going to tell some stories. We're going to have some food court, and hopefully have a minute of normalcy in your day, wherever this live stream finds you. Lawnards, I've missed you. Let's roll the intro and get going, shall we? Oh, that's the wrong intro. Okay. That's the wrong one too. That's quick bits. Emily, which intro are you rolling? This one. We're rolling this one.
Hey there. I'm Emily D. Baker, the internet's go-to legal analyst, breaking down the legal side of the pop culture and entertainment stories we can't stop talking about. I'm a big fan of the cursey words. I've been a licensed attorney for over 17 years, but this is not legal advice. This is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not... Let's get into it.
First of all, law nerds, let's talk about what we are drinking and where we're coming in from today. You guys know I'm in Middle Tennessee. It's in that weird time of year where it feels like it's fall and the leaves on the trees have changed, and it's beautiful, and I love it. I love fall so much. I love transitional seasons. I don't mind winter, though. I like being cozy. My cats were all cuddled up back here today. I love being cozy. So, you know, aside from the fact that there will be a point in time this year where I will have gloves on while I'm getting a cold brew, I love to be cozy. But I have new coasters from the team at YouTube because we had a creator meetup in Texas while I was there for Vid Summit. So I have some new YouTube coasters. And I was like, Griffin, do you like the YouTube coasters? He's like, I mean, it's not a gold play button. I'm like, you're right, buddy. It's not a gold play button. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct on that. But Griffin has not stopped. It is nonstop. It is nonstop sass. And if there ever is a gold play button, which is really not the goal of the channel, right? The goal of the channel is to help help the law nerds find community and have conversation and elevate the conversation on social media. I know sometimes that feels like a big task, but in this little corner of the internet, we do it every single week and I love it the most. So I feel like that's more of the goal than the gold play button. So now it's become such a joke that it's actually really fun. So I am just getting back from Vid Summit. It is an in-person conference for video creators. It's not really a fan conference other than creators fanning on other creators, which I love and is really fun. So I got to see the Coffee Talk crew in person, which is glorious. A lot of us have met before, but some of us hadn't. And last year, I missed this conference because I had gotten COVID. So I was out of commission last year at this time. So this year, I got to see people in person. I got to meet some of the other lawyers in the space in person. We had a really fun lawyer dinner. Some of that I will talk about on our members only tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central. So if you're a channel member or if you have been lovingly gifted a channel membership from B2 this morning, B2, thank you for the memberships. Then you can plan on being at that members only live. I see Tracy also gifted memberships. Thank you. And so did Victor Mann. Thank you guys for the gifted membership. So you guys can join the members only live stream and have that conversation with me tomorrow. There was also a party that I went to. It was an after party. Everyone I think got invited to the after party. It was supposed to be a small after party, and then the fire marshal had an issue. And then the Minecraft creators got the party shut down by the hotel. Mm-hmm. 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 The Minecraft creators were the troublemakers. There were so many lawyers at this conference. It was so good. It was so much fun. So we will tell those stories, but I did have a really nice time. I met creators that I didn't even think would be at this conference, and that was really fun, where I was like, oh my God, no way. And I did that to a couple of folks and they were like, oh my God, no way. And so that was really fun too. We had the kind of like the VIP party. Most of these conferences, if you're a speaker or a VIP, there will be some kind of a VIP party. The VIP party was at Dude Perfect. So that was kind of a wild experience. Miguelina, I'm still not seeing my chat comments. They are right now 7 minutes behind the chat. If you don't mind reaching out to StreamYard and letting them know, because I need to be able to see y'all, because that's like a whole central feature of live streaming is that I can see chat. So the party was at Dude Perfect, which was kind of wild. I walk in and this is their location now. They're building a new location that looks absolutely incredible. So Rob's stream was doing that too. Runkle's stream was doing that too. They just rolled out a new feature. So I just want to let them know the StreamYard team is so incredible and they have been so easy to work with. But if there are chat issues, we'll figure it out. And if I can't pull stuff up, then we'll figure it out. If I have to refresh, I'll refresh. But I have you guys in the YouTube chat, so I'm keeping an eye on there. So Runkle was there. No, Runkle was not there. Rob and Ian were having this problem last night. That makes sense. So with all of that, we got to go to Dude Perfect and we walk in. Okay, I'm going to tell you briefly the story about getting to and from Dude Perfect. And then we are going to go forward. Thank you, Miguelina, for reaching out. This one is more urgent just because the chat is not updating at all. And I am in Firefox. So we had to get to Dude Perfect through a Texas squall of a storm. And so we trying to figure out where the buses were was a thing. And then me not wanting to get my hair wet is also like a bigger thing. So we get on the buses, we get to the Dude Perfect location, which is not a short drive from where the conference is. I get motion sick. So I am always trying to be like, can I please plop myself in the front so I can see out the front window as much as I can? I am not fun on a bus ride because I do not, like, I can't turn around and talk to the folks behind me. I wish I could, but I will get motion sick. And getting motion sick is not at all what I need. So I sit towards the front with Warren and Laron and others, and we had a really, really nice chat. We get to Dude Perfect in a fucking squall. And so remember my story about me and Judge Abby getting stuck in the rain in the Smoky Mountains? This is what's going through my head. So in my brain, I'm just like, I can't run for the door because I am now traumatized that I am going to slip again and eat shit. And I cannot eat shit in front of all these other creators. Like I was mortified when it was me and Judge Abby and like the handful of folks that were camping, not camping, but camping in the Rocky Mountains. I cannot do that in front of a whole bunch of creators I respect, admire. I cannot. So I'm like trying to get from the bus to the door without getting wet. It doesn't matter. I look like a drowned rat. So get into Dude Perfect, and there are balls flying everywhere. And for those of you that don't know the Dude Perfect YouTube channel, they have an entire studio where they do all kinds of things. So they do trick shots and whatever, but there is like a soccer goal, like an American soccer, the rest of the world football, I don't know, soccer. And so that's happening. So soccer balls are flying. And then there's like a huge basketball court, and basketballs are like things. And then there's pickleball. And so people are playing pickleball. This is Kate Manning. This is exactly what I thought. When I walked in and there were balls everywhere, I'm like, I can't have balls flying at me. And then I was like, I now understand why we signed a waiver. Like, the waiver now makes sense that there are literally balls flying everywhere. So there are soccer balls, basketballs, and people playing pickleball. And then there are people like throwing things off the second story, like ping pong balls or whatever, off the second story, trying to catch them in cups. And then there's like a whole area with a like pit of foam. So there's a foam pit and there are balls flying everywhere. There was not chat. There was no water polo. Somebody tell Dude Perfect what they need. What they need is a tank for water polo. That's exactly. It was absolutely recess with no boundaries and an open bar. So there, for those that were over 21. So there was that. There walking into the door. It was, for me, overwhelming. It's also a very large space and there's music. So it was a cacophony of things. So I was like, immediately, no. There's a lower level and an upper level. Me, immediately no. And I was like, to the back, to the stairs. So all the adults, and by adults, I mean creators over the ripe age of like 27, were upstairs and had lovely conversations with creators about literally everything. Had a really good time. It was really cool seeing the Dude Perfect set or sets. People were on the Dude Perfect like workout equipment or whatever. And I'm like, we're at a party. And people are like on the Dude Perfect treadmills, like taking videos and stuff. That lots of content was created. Pat Flynn was creating content. A friend from the Coffee Talk days won the trick shot competition and won $10,000 in like the trick shot competition. It was really cool. I'm just, let's sit at a semi-quiet bar, have a delicious drink and a conversation. I'm definitely not, let's have a trick shot competition, but many were. I'm just old and wise. I'm like, okay. This is wild. It was really fun to watch. Once we were upstairs, it was really fun to watch the wildness happen down below with people having a great time doing whatever. Friends had tried to get to Dude Perfect not on the buses because the buses were kind of a situation, and they got dropped off at the wrong door in the torrential rain. So we got regaled with the story of how they barely survived the squall without getting washed away, and how the Dude Perfect team kindly let them in even though it was the wrong door. And by the time we got there, they didn't look soaking wet at all. It was just too funny. I love Dervis. Emily's a wallflower. No, I just don't want to get hit in the face with balls. Lucy's like, the clueless quotes are on point, chat. Thank you. You've made my day. I really just wanted to get out of the fray because I want to talk to people. And I can't talk to people if I am worried that I'm going to get hit in the head with a basketball. Look, man, I am nervous enough. My backup glasses broke. I've got like one pair. So I am nervous about things. I just don't want to anyway. And literally balls all over the place. But it was really, really fun. So had great conversation, get back on the bus to leave and end up sitting with a Tuesday on the bus and had the loveliest conversation, not just about content, but life and everything else. So that was really fun. I was like, so you got sued by BitBoy Crypto. We have to have a conversation about that. And that was really fun too. So it was all in all, getting to ride on the buses was great because that's where the chatting happens, right? And I didn't want to be on like the very last bus, but I also realized that with the age of the creators that were there, like a group of creators that all know each other got on, and somebody was like, hey, we're sitting back here. And one of the other creators was like, bet say less. I'm like, I am too old. I am too old to be here. Excuse me. I'm going to sit in the front where my old ass won't get car sick. Thanks, everybody. It was too fun. It was just too funny. So then we ended up back where we spent most of the conference was at the hotel bar, which the team of bartenders at this very sold out hotel were so incredible and so tremendously kind. They were very tolerant of the fact that we were like, everyone was just coming and going and people were putting drinks on different tabs. We were not intentionally a nightmare, but it was a lot of moving pieces. And the team at the bar was so wonderful. So the hotel really took good care of us. And then we ended up back where we were supposed to be. Another creator came up to me after we got off the bus, by the way, we got off the bus and had to get like around and back into the hotel in a torrential downpour. And so I'm like this, like it's going to fucking help. It doesn't. So I get in, I'm at the bar. The bartender's like, hey, and I'm like, hey, he's like, would you like an Aperol Spritz? And I'm like, that's what we started with today. That's what we're ending with today. We're not switching from Aperol Spritz to whiskey at this point. It's too late in the day. Yes, I would like an Aperol Spritz, please. And another creator walked up and was like, how are you? I'm like, I'm wet. And they're like, ayo. I was like, Jesus Christ. This is what I love about being with creators offline is you get to know a little bit more about everybody's personality and just have a great conversation. I got to tell the Stacks and the Wood Daddy Stacks story to some that weren't aware of the full history of that story. That was really fun. So I had a very, very good time. But by the time we got back to the bar, I was just like, ugh. But it is what it is. I had a lovely time. I spoke at the conference twice. It was really lovely. I felt tremendously supported by all of the other content creators there and the other lawyers there. It was lovely to see everybody in person. I had a really nice time. They didn't all like leave us and go golfing. So that was fantastic. I really appreciated that. It was like, as I was asking lawyers, I'm like, how did you two meet each other? They're like, oh, golfing. I was like, Didn't talk about golfing the whole time, which was fantastic. When you get a group of lawyers together, you never know. But I let them or made them listen to me tell them about Wood Daddy stacks because we were making jokes about Sweet James. So it had to happen. It was a really fun night. Anyway, I had a good conference. We will talk more. We will talk about the after party that went sideways on tomorrow night's live stream. And we will talk more about conversations with other creators. Because if we don't get into tonight's, geez, Emily, it's like 11 a.m. If we don't get into today's content, we're never going to wrap up today. So it was really fun. Octa said, we're definitely doing something very different here in the law nerd community. It was cool hearing from creators how inspired they were. It was really cool. And it was interesting because there's creators who are very different minded. Peter was absolutely lovely. We had a really nice time. So I don't even know if we got a picture. I every time I go to a conference, I'm like, I'm going to take more pictures. And then I fucking start talking. And then we laugh and giggle. And I never, ever get to the point of taking a picture. And then it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, we'll do it tomorrow. Because once the bar closed, we all ended up in the hotel lobby chatting until like 2 a.m. So Peter talked golf, but not at excess. Peter was very, very sweet. So I think I've got a picture somewhere, but I'm not sure, honestly, because we were just chatting. But it was fun because there were definitely creators who have no idea who I am, which I'm not surprised by and kind of love. And then obviously the creators in our sphere who we all got to talk in person, a lot of us for the first time, and got to really spend some good time together. But then other creators are like, oh, what are you talking about? And the first day I was talking about fan funding and all the fan funding options through YouTube. And really it's when the conference is really broy, you got to kind of lead with money and then talk about community, which is why I'm like, we're talking about fan funding, but really we're talking about building a community you love. And one of the creators at the bar was just like, oh, well, I started YouTube because I read an article about how much money YouTubers were making and like built a channel to make money on it. I don't really want to get my comments and like talk to people. And I was like, what? Like, that doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun at all. Like, why would you want to do that? Like, ugh, that seems not fun at all. So it was just a strange, there were definitely moments of broness. And I think I was like, I honestly think my face went, oh, strange. And then I was just like, we have nothing left to talk about. It was very odd. And there was definitely some of that. And there was, Mr. Beast's talk. He's like, when I started my channel, I just wanted to be the biggest YouTuber in the world. And I was like, oh, that sounds awful. I just want to hang out with us in a live chat. So it's interesting. People have their different reasons for becoming a creator. I became a creator for community. So it's weird. Oh, I'm definitely not going to name and shame. I doubt it's a creator that any of you would have ever come across. I believe they have a faceless channel. It's not, it just, people have different motivations for doing this. And I find very much that I enjoy being in circles of people who love what they do and love their communities, because if you have a great community, it makes it fun to be a creator. And it takes a lot of the pressure off. You can see the stress on some of the creators of like, what's the next topic? How's it going to do? And I'm like, law nerds, should we talk about this? And the law nerds are like, yes. And I'm like, great, we're talking about that. I don't really care if it's a topic that's favored or not favored by the platform at any given moment. So it was fun. It was really fun. Did I talk to Mr. Beast? Not this conference. No, I didn't. I really enjoy seeing Carl everywhere. So I enjoy seeing Carl. I did not see, this was a bigger conference this year, and Jimmy was not just cruising around the way he was in previous years. So no, we did not chat, but also we do such different things. I don't know what that conversation would be like. Like, hey, do you ever want to live stream? It's like, no. I'm like, okay. He's like, hey, do you ever want to spend more than 3 minutes on a thumbnail? And I'm like, no. And he's like, okay. Can we talk about Beast Burger? No, call my lawyer. It's great. I would love to have a chat with Mr. Beast lawyers. Maybe that's the goal. But it was fun. Carl, yes. But Carl is actually really fun. I love Patty Galloway. He's so incredibly smart and a lot of fun. We had a ton of fun. So, and really got to spend time. There is a Discord group I am in with some folks that I had not seen in person, got to see them in person. Just had a really good time. So we're going to talk more about that tomorrow night in the Members Only Live. Another programming note before we get into how I parse information. So another programming note, there is no new video podcast tomorrow. It's an audio only episode. I've started doing that when I travel so that when I come home, I am not swamped, which means I got to spend the day yesterday still recovering a bit because these things exhaust me. I love being around people, but then I need like 3 weeks to recover and I don't have that much time because BravoCon. So I made sure that I had a little bit of space so I wasn't turning around and recording a podcast. If you have not watched last week's podcast, which a lot of you haven't, go ahead and watch last week's podcast. It's out on the arrest surrounding the murder of Tupac. I'm going to be keeping quite a lot of an eye on that case. I'm very interested in what happens. While there's a lot of backstory there, I had some questions that I left you with in that podcast episode that I want answers to. And I want to watch those answers unfold in this prosecution. I need to know. So with all of that, new audio only podcast, go listen to that on the audio only. And we will get into today's chat. So let us chat real quick. I haven't had a chance to watch, hold on. Where was this? Emily, I have not had a chance to watch Bethany's podcast with Nene. I heard it was fantastic. So I will absolutely be checking that out. It's fantastic. So let's see. We've had just some tech stuff today. I don't know what it is. I've seen clips of Ariana on Dancing with the Stars. I'm not surprised that she's good. I'm not surprised at all. She is a talented individual. And from watching VPR, came to Hollywood to bartend, yes, but also to act. And so I'm not surprised that she has lots of other skills. I'm very excited. How do we listen to audio only? It's not on YouTube. It is on your favorite podcasting app. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, though for a lot of you, that's becoming YouTube. That's becoming YouTube. EDB is happy that what I know about the Tupac case is public so we can talk about it. And my brain is still trying to parse like DA brain and like lawyer commentator brain, but also, which is why I felt a little disjointed recording that episode, because I wanted to make sure that I was making it make sense, because there's a lot of information about that case in my head. But also I found the book very interesting and illuminating. And I'm very, very interested to see the way that the defendant Keefe Eady's book is used in the prosecution of him. There's a lot of questions. That's in last week's podcast. Let's talk real quick. About information, shall we? And then we'll do content, and then we'll do Q&A. Can I upload it? I Love Pie. Can I upload it to YouTube too? It is a edited down episode that's already on YouTube. So I generally do not do, it is re-edited content, but it is not new content. So it is a cleaned up sidebars episode, and you guys already have those. So I'm not going to put it up on this. I wonder if I could put it on the QuickBits channel. I will talk to the team about putting it on QuickBits and see if that makes sense, but it will be in all of those audio apps. All right, let's talk about content, shall we? All right, y'all. We are going to struggle with this as a online global community more and more. So I think it's always helpful to have a conversation about parsing content, because especially when we are emotional, it makes it even more difficult to make decisions. Um, I'm going to liken things to kind of reality TV because for me, it's a little lighter than talking about the heaviness of like children being murdered. Because so when you look at something like, I don't know, Survivor or The Amazing Race, particularly, they have people who are exhausted and kind of disoriented, and then they try to get them to make decisions. And the reason that your brain struggles with sometimes like simple puzzles or simple decision making is because your emotions are already in fight or flight, and your brain shuts down all the other things because your brain is trying to survive. So that happens to us even when we are triggered by headlines, when we are triggered by the information around you. And I know the word gets overused, but when those emotions are heavily activated by the headlines that we're seeing, the stories that we're seeing, the images that we're seeing, it makes it harder to use our thinking part of our brain, not our like emergency fight or flight, I feel like I'm dying right now brain. And when we are in that emotional state, it's really hard to discern information. It's really, really hard. And that's not your fault. That is your body trying to just survive the input that's coming at you. And our bodies still don't know, and our brains still don't know how to discern that input coming at us, because it is in the history of our evolution, this period of time is so new. And so our brains and our bodies, even though those things are coming at us sometimes from very far away, our brains and our bodies can't tell the difference, and it feels very real to us. So we are then in a heightened emotional state where our body is in that fight or flight. And until we deal with that, we can't really go through information and discern. And that is very, very hard to do. So discernment kind of comes after we deal with the emotions. And a lot of people will talk about feelings being put to the side. I've done that for a really long time. I don't think it's the healthiest way. I am not an expert. I'm just a girl who's been through a lot of trauma and burnout. So I'm going to tell you what I think is the healthier approach if it can be accessible to you, which is to feel your feelings first. And if you feel your feelings first, you can start to deal with the feelings, identify the feelings, and feel your feelings first, and then start to make decisions. Which means if you need time, it's okay to ask for time. And it's okay to say, I can't decide that right now. I need time. I need a minute. Because we do need a minute to process the emotion of what's happening first. And it's okay to give yourself space to process the emotion of what's happening first. Of course, that is a caveat to if you are in an immediate danger situation, you have to deal with it first and put the feelings to the side. If you are not in an immediate danger situation, you don't have to act first. You can process first. And that's okay to process first. So, Nautical Risk said it better than I am. I'm so long-winded. This is fantastic. Yes. There are times where we absolutely have to shut the emotions off and handle a thing, right? My kid slips and falls and there is blood. I need to act first and then I will deal with my emotions later. Like that fear comes up and you're just like, no, and you deal first. But when stuff is coming at us that is not in our immediate space, we have to process it first before we can navigate information. This is why I very much look for trusted sources of news before we are in like a crisis scenario. And as we are going into, as we are here now, and then as we are going forward, start looking at what those trusted sources are for you and make sure, make sure that you are engaging in it in a way that you're already processing the feelings. because you need to let yourself process the feelings first, and it's fair. We don't have to be reactive. Um and sometimes I feel like people are reactive because they don't know what to do in a way that they're trying to help. I don't know if we can help when we are just reacting. Um so the thing I prefer to do for me is to hold space for those who need space to vent and need a safe space to vent, that are in my circle, and reach out to them via text or call and say, I'm here. I'm here. This is terrifying, and I'm here. And I'm here for whatever you need. I'm here to hear you, because the internet right now is not an easy place to navigate. And so you don't have to navigate it alone. I'm here for you to vent, and it's a safe space. What people say to me in our conversation um aren't shared, right? It's a safe space, and it's okay to be a safe space if you can. And then if you find sources of news that you trust, share those with those who ask. There are lots of different news outlets. It is okay to ask what angle this news outlet takes, and look for outlets that just do factual reporting. I try to look for stories that are not um emotionally heavy in the headline, especially when we are dealing with traumatic news. I am fine dealing with a clickbaity headline regarding pop culture. Great. I mean, yeah, I want to know. But when it comes to very heavy news, there is absolutely no clickbait needed when people are just trying to find information. So if what you are seeing is very emotionally charged headlines, it is time to look for a different source. There are great independent reporters on places like Substack. Here's why I like Substack. Am I on Substack? No. I mean, as a as a user, yes. As a poster, no. Um I like that you can go into the people that you trust and read what they have to say and not get pulled into the scroll. Because if you go to somewhere like Threads or Twitter or X or whatever it's called, you will get pulled into the scroll. And the way those algorithms work is based on engagement, not positive engagement, which means things that cause outrage tend to get pushed to the top. And if you are already feeling the emotional exhaustion of how heavy everything is, what you don't need is to be like rage baited on Twitter. That doesn't serve anyone's purpose. So, Substack, or go to the direct website of the news source that you like. Because if you're clicking through from social, the chance that the algorithm will be like, this post has a lot of engagement. You know why it has a lot of engagement? Rage. And if you're trying to lean out of rage and find facts and reporting, find one or two trusted sources and look at those and see if you are seeing consistent stories across those sources. And that is how I start to parse information. Journalists that I trust on Substack, then into news outlets that I trust that are not using emotionally outrageous, divisive, or triggering headlines to get your attention. Because if I'm very much optimistic, this is maybe too optimistic, but I'm very much optimistic if we keep leaning in to, and as the real deal just said in the chat, the not sensationalized, if we keep leaning in to the factual reporting, I don't think legacy media cares how they put out information. They just want people to read it. And if we lean in to what is factual, I am optimistic that they will go, oh, more people click that. We have to retrain them by telling them, stop rage baiting me with these headlines. People are traumatized. Stop it. So find what you are looking for. Whether it's the Associated Press or BBC or Al Jazeera, find a reporting outlet that you like. Find journalists that you like that cover things. And the nice thing about Substack is you can find people who oftentimes worked for legacy outlets and felt that the pull towards hyper sensationalism was not what they wanted. And so they left to do it themselves. And I love supporting people who do that. As I come across outlets that I like, I will share those for you. Because there are some good ones, and I'm watching other people that do kind of like Under the Desk News on Instagram. V will pull together resources and say, look, I'm not a wartime correspondent, but these are people I trust. And I trust V as a creator to vet those things with their experience. So that's what I try to do. All of you are going to find trusted sources in different spaces, and that is fine. Just know that it's okay to take a breath, right? Morning Brew is a great news aggregator, and there are others. But when you need a quick guide, look at the headlines, ask if it's giving you facts or fuckery. That is what I do. Is this headline fact or fuckery? I'm not talking about this story today, but let me give you an example. And then this is a story we're going to talk about, a lawsuit that we're going to talk about probably next week, but the headline got me. The headline totally got me. So we're going to do a real life example. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. And then we can go from there. But really, if you can critically evaluate the headline, you will set yourself up. You don't have to critically evaluate the entire article. You're exhausted. I get it. But if you can look at the headline and just ask yourself that, is this fact or is this fuckery? Then you can at least start to know what you're in for. Okay? And then we will all get through this together. The world right now is wild. Look, there's an outlet I love. I love Law 360. I'm sorry that I sniffed. I apologize. I love Law 360, but I tend to go first to the media and entertainment tab. And right now it is full of like political news. And I'm like, what in the world is this political news? This is not news. This is not media or entertainment for me. So let me see. I'm spelling things wrong. Okay. This headline got me. We're going to just do an example and then we're going to move on to food court. Okay. We're absolutely going to do this and then move on. All right. Real quick. Oh, Emily, did you share your screen? Not yet. All right. This got me. And I was like, this isn't a food court topic, right? Disney sued after woman gets painful wedgie at water park. And I'm ready to be like, what? The use of the word wedgie. It was the use of the word wedgie that got me, but the word wedgie is in the complaint. We're going to talk about this complaint. This plaintiff got seriously and severely injured at Typhoon Lagoon and was hospitalized. So when I look at the headline, and I'm like, and then I start to read the lawsuit and I'm like, holy fucking shit. This person was seriously injured. So this headline downplays it because this headline is like, okay, I mean, tee-hee. This was not a wedgie. This was a severe injury. So again, the headline didn't give me this is going to be heavy. The headline made it funny. And then I started reading it. I'm like, oh, this headline is kind of fuckery. Because the headline does not give serious. And what this injury was is really serious. So then I got mad. I was like, this is downplayed in a way that made me feel like an asshole because I was like, tell me more about this wedgie. And then I start reading. I'm like, God damn it. This is awful. A woman has sued Disney in Florida state court for alleged negligence over severe injuries stemming from a painful wedgie she sustained after riding down a high-speed water slide at Typhoon Lagoon Park and later had to be hospitalized. Look, this is the word the lawyers used. In a complaint filed Wednesday, Emma McGinnis alleged she was injured while riding down Typhoon Lagoon Water Park's Humunga Cowabunga slide at high speeds and slamming into the pool below, causing her swimsuit to be violently forced between her legs. She said she was instructed to cross her ankles as she went down the slide, but not told why. She and her husband are suing Disney for loss of consortium in addition to negligence. Damages sought exceed $50,000. I imagine this will settle. The couple visited Typhoon Lagoon Water Park in Lake Buena Vista, Florida with their family to celebrate her 30th birthday in October 2019 when she was injured. That is not a good birthday. The speeds approach, Emma McGinnis decided to ride the Humunga Cowabunga water slide, 3 214-foot side-by-side enclosed body slides, which riders plummet down a near vertical 5-story drop in the dark, reaching speeds approaching 40 miles an hour. She was wearing a one-piece swimsuit at the end of the slide. Her body lifted up and became airborne before being slammed downwards against the slide, which she said increased the likelihood that her legs became uncrossed. After hitting the pool, she experienced immediate and severe internal pain and noticed blood rushing from between her legs. She was rushed to the hospital to see a gynecological specialist. And then it goes into the severe and permanent bodily injury, including tearing that caused her bowels to protrude through her abdominal wall, in addition to damage to internal organs. So here's the thing. That bowel protrusion goes way beyond a painful wedgie at a water park. Like, when we're talking about headlines not matching the story, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So lacerations and internal damage. Sorry, y'all. Some of you are like, Emily, I'm eating Jesus Christ. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. So she is suing Disney. I imagine this will settle. We will cover this another day. But as I was thinking about headlines that grab you, it's not just headlines that over sensationalize. This headline grabbed you with like, oh, this is kind of quirky. I'm sure the lawyers use painful wedgie. It's in a quote, but that is not a wedgie. She was impaled on her own swimsuit essentially, and it's awful. So again, we are fighting the headline culture and we are fighting back against sensationalized headlines. I get it. I'm not going to shame anyone for clicking on like, you won't believe what this actor looks like now or whatever. I get it. But let's leave the clickbait in the pop culture world maybe. That's all I'm saying. Really. Let's leave it out of the egregious and serious needs and stories. Yeah? I think we can agree on that. Yes. Stephanie said in the chat, oh my God, I didn't know it was that serious. At first, I thought it was fuckery and somebody trying to get some money. Right, because the headlines don't do it justice at all. They don't do it justice at all. And so that's part of it. Lifestyle by Kay, I think what we have to do when we are parsing things is acknowledge our emotions first, because then we can actually look at the facts. And if we try to put our emotions to the side, they seep in. Emotions are going to come for you no matter what. But if we acknowledge them, at least we can be like, this topic is making me very emotional. I'm very sad, mad, outraged, all the things at once. I'm very triggered. I'm very upset. I'm very hurt. Whatever the feelings are, we can do those feelings first and then go to and what information am I looking for? Because sometimes we maybe don't need more information when we're already in the feelings. I hope that helps. I really very much hope that that helps. We're going to go to food court and laugh at some food court stuff because I think that that's most helpful. And I hope that talking about how I parse through things helps gives you permission to pause. We don't need, just because the news comes at us at the speed of light anymore, doesn't mean we need to consume it at the speed of light. We don't have to. We need time for discernment. Remember back in my day, back in the day, where you had news in the morning and then like 6 o'clock family friendly news that was really like, this thing happened today, and then that thing happened today, and then this other thing happened. And that was it. And then if you wanted more news, I was just talking at Vid Summit about this with another creator who I very much adore. And then if you wanted more news, you would go to the newspaper and you would consume it on your own time, and you would be able to ponder it. You would be able to discern it. We are creatures that need time. We need to process. And when we're not processing information, we are acting on our like fight or flight instincts, which we need for other shit. But when we're trying to parse nuanced information, fight or flight doesn't help us get into those nuanced, thoughtful conversations. And sometimes it's not the time for nuanced, thoughtful conversations. Sometimes it's just time to tell those that are hurting, I'm here for you. I see that you're hurting. What do you need? I'm holding space for you. And the time for conversation is later because you are hurting and I am here for you. And sometimes that's what's needed. And it's okay to just do that. I was talking to a friend yesterday over text and I'm like, I really don't know what to say other than I know how hurt you are and I am here for you. And if you, whatever, if you need to just call and cry, I'm here. If you need to just text, I'm here. If you need to just let it out, I'm here. I'm here. I see you. And a lot of times that's just what people need. So if you feel like you don't know what to say, sometimes it's just, I see you. I feel you. I'm here. So long and thanks for all the fish. Emotions researcher here, emotions impact cognition. I got that in a very much long-worded way, I hope. I think this is fascinating. If you have any work that you would like to point the chat to on how emotions impact cognition, it's okay to share that. Please do. I think that's fantastic, and thank you. Thank you very much. So, what else? That. I also tell people this. I don't know what to say, but I'm here. All right. Back in the day, people would sit down and read the paper. It was part of the day, not the entire day. Exactly. It was a part of the day. And I have to say, I really enjoy, I feel like my Apple News algorithm has been pretty well curated. And I will say that of all of the media I engage in, especially with pop culture, People magazine has been, for pop culture, one that I have found to be pretty fair to people and not tearing people down. And I've really enjoyed it. So for the pop culture, I tend to lean into People. I lean into media because I've never found anything that truly doesn't have a slant. I just lean into things that are slanted both ways, and that helps. So hopefully that will help. And now might just be the time to process emotion and then find your trusted news sources after this. So it's default when you need it in a crutch or in a emergency situation down the road. All right, let's go to food court, shall we? We need to do food court. Y'all, we need to do food court. We need to do food court. Today, I have a very, very important update of a food court adjacent case. And then we have food court updates. We have a Texas Pete update, a Beast Burger, and a Starbucks. And then we're just going to chat some more because I think that's what we all need today. I hope that helps, Law Nerds. I love you guys. We live in weird times. I feel like we can do a lot to get through that better. All right. I need to pull something up on YouTube. Hold on. Do you know what's so funny? So my kid, my oldest has been watching a lot of Moist Critical. And he started saying goofy. So I wanted to pull this up and be like, okay, you guys, this video is goofy. I'm like, oh God. I enjoy Moist Critical's content too, but I'm not started saying goofy, but him and all of his friends have started saying goofy. And I actually really love that it's coming back to like, this is goofy. The reason that came to mind is because Moist Critical covered this particular toy, and we are going to take a moment. We are going to take a moment to lean into it. So today we are talking, Miguelina, yes, we are going to lean into some Reacts content a little bit. We are going to look at this, but before we get to food court, we need an update on Poopsie Slime Surprise. We need to do this. So let's pull this up. Let's react to Moist Critical reacting to Poopsie Slime Surprise, shall we? We are going to my poops. My poops. Don't worry. We're going to play the song a little bit too. We are. We're going to get copy claimed. I'm going to fight it. It's going to be fine, but it's going to happen. We're leaning into Poopsie Slime Surprise.
We made a video talking a lot of shit about the Poopsie Slime Surprise Unicorn, which is a unicorn toy that you make take a shit for you on the toilet, and then you play with its shit, which is some slime. And I called it the worst toy ever made, a war crime, the one sin the Lord can't forgive, just a whole bunch.
The one sin the Lord can't forgive. This was a video. This video, the reacting to the worst toy, is 3 years old.
Things. But recently I've been watching a lot of inspirational Darman YouTube videos, and I've learned something very...
I'm going to bump this audio just a little bit in case you guys can't hear it. For those of you who don't know Moist Critical, he is a commentator and Reacts YouTuber. He also does gaming content and has started streaming more on YouTube. It's actually kind of fun to see his engagement with chat. But, yep.
Important. Never judge a book by its cover. I'm not trying to get too fucking philosophical on you here with this Socrates knowledge, but appearances can be misleading, as the great Darman says. So I had my friend Matt go out and buy me a Poopsie Slime Surprise Unicorn. That way I can experience...
The fact that he found a Poopsie Slime Surprise is crazy. Look at the advertisement on this Poopsie Slime Surprise. Do you guys see that it says, let's dance to my music video on YouTube? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when it says, let's dance to my music video on YouTube. Also, oh, this is a side note. Did they get permission from YouTube to use the full YouTube logo on their packaging? I'm just asking.
Joy and jubilation of making this unicorn take a shit for me. Now, the reason I had Matt go out and buy it isn't because I was embarrassed. I mean, shit, I buy fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards from Walmart, so there is no shame there.
Yu-Gi-Oh's fucking amazing. What are you talking about? My kids like math because of Yu-Gi-Oh. Is Yu-Gi-Oh embarrassing? Am I such a nerd that I'm not embarrassed by Yu-Gi-Oh? And I'm like, people think I know math. Damn it, maybe.
I would have no problem going right up to an employee and asking where their Poopsie aisle is.
Comment.
It's just I'm afraid of being around people in this area, and Matt's got fucking nuts of steel, ironclad nuts, and he went out and he was totally fine getting this for me. So thank you, Matt.
Back to balls.
Now apparently these naughty little things are flying off the shelves. There was only one Poopsie left, and he checked 2 Walmarts and a Super Target and found it at Super Target. Not only did he find that though, he also got us our own little slime surprise.
Also, chat, it's fair for all of you that are... Lindsay, you're a lawyer. We don't think you know math. It's fair.
Starter kit, fair. I guess, whatever the fuck this is, a little birthday gift. I don't really know. But I figured we needed both just to make sure we got the full authentic experience. So first impressions right away, I can tell you, this is the worst thing a kid can have next to the chicken pox. If your parents told you on Christmas they were getting a divorce, it would still be a better gift than getting this. What are you going to do with all that poop, am I right?
We're going to go look at the music video in a minute, don't you worry.
Now, I'm sure you can hardly contain yourself. Go ahead and amplify that excitement by 100 for me. I'm about to start scratching at my neck like a meth addict if I can't get into this box soon. So let's just go ahead and dive in here. let's go ahead and raid the public bathroom and check this shit out. So
all right,
we'll crack this open here.
I'm gonna watch him open it. We're not gonna go through the entire poop making, situation here.
She's really sealed in here, real tight.
It does on the back say, "I shake my magical booty."
Thank you, Poopsie.
Oh my god! The level of trying to rip that thing.
On. Damn it! Fuck.
For everyone who has had a Christmas morning like this, I get you. I get you. So this is the Poopsie Slime.
Oh no!
The Poopsie Slime surprise.
Jesus Christ! Ugh. All right.
We'll
be all right. She doesn't need her neck to take a shit, I guess.
So
all right. Well, now that I've hit her with like a Mortal Kombat fatality, I'd say we're about 50% of the way there to getting her out of this.
Yeah, you're never getting.
So, I didn't have a pair of scissors.
Yeah, you can't open this kind of shit without scissors.
For the Poopsie if you really want to enjoy it. I guess the surprise in the name was for the surprise vasectomy I accidentally gave myself getting it out of the box. Anyway, we got her here. She still kind of works, but I do think I broke her neck. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I've got it on 1.25. Hold on. We need to listen to the song because the song is the heart of the lawsuit.
Self getting it out of the box. Anyway, we got her here. She still kind of works, but I do think I broke her neck. Yeah. Not bad.
All right. If you would like to see the thing actually make poop and take a dump, that's on Charlie's channel. We're gonna have to go to the music video because this is the heart of the lawsuit. Let's see. And then once we, absolutely ruin everything with the music video. Wait a second. Is it gone? No, I'm going to have to go find the video where I played it. Is it gone? It's gone. Oh my God. You guys, the Poopsie Slime Surprise My Humps music video is no longer on YouTube. No way. I'm going to have to go find the video where I played it because it's gone. Miguelina, will you look for it real quick and see? It's absolutely not on the internet anymore. Well, I guess that makes sense. Let's see if I can go find I'm going to go to the lawsuit and then I'll see if I can find my video. I played part of the video on my video. But there are big updates in this case. That video, I think, had under 1 million views. Charlie's video has more views than I think the original video did. He covered this lawsuit. Let me go see if he played the music video in his coverage of the lawsuit. I don't know if he did. Probably because he likes to be monetized. And I'm over here going, it's fine. We're going to play the music video. Oh, I should have downloaded it. I didn't even think it would be off the internet. All right. Well, damn it. It's gone. I have it too. I played it in a video, but all right, let's go to the lawsuit and then we'll come back. So the lawsuit was between the Poopsie Slime Surprise and My Humps. What you going to do with all that junk inside your trunk? So it's let's see. Miguelina, you are a queen among humans. Miguelina found it for us. Oh gosh. This platform is hating me. All right, let me try one more time. Miguelina found it. Miguelina, you are the best. This is why we have a producer to find the things. All right, hold on. You guys, no. It keeps booting me out. Give me 30 seconds. Let's see. I'm coming, you guys. I promise. It won't this video is going to happen. We are going to make it happen, but it will not let me play it without logging in to this platform. Text me a code, and it will not text me a code. What is happening? I'm gonna have to log in okay, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Authenticator. Good Lord. Let's see. Y'all, this is riveting streaming right here. We found it. We found it. We found it. Miguelina found it. All right. This is legal research, friends, of the highest order. All right. Because if you have heard My Humps by Black Eyed Peas and you have not heard this, we can't talk about the lawsuit without talking about the parody song. Parody.
Yeah. All right. Poopsie slime surprise. My poops, my poops, my poops. What you gonna do with
I have no idea what happened to my video.
Yeah. I'm a poop, 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 poop. Oh yeah. Gotta get loopy off my poopy. My poop, my poop. That's right. My poop, my poop, my poop. Check it out. I drive my parents crazy. The poop I need every day. Spelling Bart Jacobs swag. Got my poop designer bag. Even poop.
It says my poop designer bag. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know what happened to my video. Today is special. We're gonna keep doing this.
Louis puts on, hey Louis, I'm the cool one. As if you want the real thing, you be spending those big bucks. But when you rock a poopsie, you just be pooping it all up. We munch on my poopy toes, pooping slime till who knows. Poopsie slime
I don't know what's happening.
my poops, my poops, my poops. They got me very
Anyway, this is the My Poops parody. I don't know what's happening with this stream. Y'all, I don't know. We're going to try to finish the Poopsie Slime surprise. It's cursed my camera.
good. That's right. We could end up on
I don't know what happened.
keep on playing. 'Cause poop on is all I'm saying. What you gonna do with
I don't know
all
what's happening.
that poop? Yeah. Woo, woo. Hey, let's start some drama.
I do want the phone case, though. I said this the last time we watched this. I want the phone case.
I got bestie poop in lava. So don't squish me up or just let me poop into my bowl.
My camera said, what you gonna do with all that poop? All that poop. Whoop, whoop.
See, time surprise. My poops, my poops, my poops. Check it out. They say my poop's so shiny. My glitter slimy besties. Whenever we get
I don't know.
sparkly poop around. My poops, my poops, my poops. My sparkly glitter poop. What you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that poop? All that poop. Whoop, whoop. I'm a poop, 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 a ton.
They're gonna poop, 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 poop.
Poopsie slime
Nope.
surprise.
I've turned my camera off and on.
My poop, my poop, my poops. I'm pooped.
All right. Hopefully I'm back. I'm not sure if I am or not, but that was a trip and a half. Okay, Miguelina, thank you for the Poopsie Slime surprise. You are a queen. It has very much been taken off of YouTube. I could not find it anywhere, and we're going to talk about why. Once I recombobulate from being slimed by Poopsie Slime surprise. Like when I was talking about the Poopsie Slime surprise, I didn't think it would slime my camera. I don't know what's happening. Live streaming's unpredictable and I love it. So I can't find that video anywhere. I didn't even look because I just assumed yesterday that it would still be up for me to pull, but it's not. So let's go pull up my humps and my poops. Let's see. This is a letter from October 2nd. Look at this. Hold on. So let's do a quick road so far. Hold on. So the BMG Rights Management sued because they own the rights to My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas. They sued saying that this is not actually parody, that My Poops is a ripoff that's been commercialized through these toys. Because notice when you saw Charlie's video, it said on the box, go dance along to our video on YouTube. That video appears to be down off of YouTube, but it says go dance along to our video on YouTube. So that video that we just watched off of Facebook was on their YouTube page until, well, or at least it was a few months ago, until now. So, this is a letter to the federal judge in New York. Dear Judge Ramos, this firm represents defendant MGA Entertainment Inc., the above referenced matter. We write with the consent from plaintiff who sued BMG Rights Management to respectfully request a continuation of the initial scheduling conference set for October 4th for 30 days because the parties have signed a settlement agreement. We anticipate the parties will be able to exercise the requirements provided for in the executed settlement agreement before the new conference date. So this case has settled. I believe it was probably for a percentage of profit, and maybe to have the video taken down. So we're not going to get to address whether this is parody or not. Here is what I wonder, to be totally like legally serious, is I wonder what implication the recent Supreme Court decision in the Jack Daniels Bad Spaniels case had on this decision. So this is the court's order from October 2nd. Let's pull this up real quick. Wise Angel UK, you're welcome. If all of you are like, my poops, my poops, my poops, my poops. It's not just poop, it's glittery poop. It's glittery poop. Glittery poop. The court having been advised that the parties have reached a settlement in principle, it is ordered that the above title action is hereby discontinued without cost to either party, subject to reopening should the settlement not be consummated within 30 days of the date. So the court said, hey, go ahead, finish up your settlement agreement, whatever money needs to change hands, whatever signature. And I wonder if taking the video down was a part of it. Then this gets filed. And this got filed on October 9th. This got filed yesterday. Notice of voluntary dismissal. So, pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 41A1A1 or A1AI, plaintiffs and their counsel give notice that they are voluntarily dismissing with prejudice against the defendants. This indicates to me that A, the Poopsie Slime surprise case is never going to see the inside of a courtroom any further. I wonder how much the recent Supreme Court decision with regard to parody and the Bad Spaniels case came into play here. I imagine money changed hands and that there was some understanding of how My Poops would be used or not used and whether or not it would be licensed or not licensed. But seeing that the YouTube video appears to be down, I wonder how much else will come down. But when it comes to the My Humps versus My Poops, My Poops, My Poops, this case is closed. Voluntary dismissal due to settlement. So y'all know what that means. Y'all know what that means. Come on. Come on. My Poops. Case closed. Case closed. All right. I had to circle back because that case brought me so much joy. And every now and then we need a really funny parody case. Have we not gone through the Bad Spaniels case again? We will go through it. We went through it briefly. It got remanded back to the lower circuit for some decision making, but the court lined out a more nuanced decision making on parody that I don't know if it would have been helpful to the My Poops argument, that it's not just cleanly parody. I don't think it was going to be an easy case for them, especially based on the commercialization. It wasn't like the My Poop song is political commentary on the Black Eyed Peas, right? It is purely a commercial bop to sell shitting unicorns. That's an odd sentence. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. Parody and protected parody speech tends to go to the heart of commentary. I don't think my poops is giving commentary. It's giving, again, commercial purposes. What do we do next? Beast Burger or Texas Pete? Maybe Texas Pete, maybe Beast Burger. You guys tell me, what are we doing first? Let's do Beast Burger first. We have some updates on Beast Burger, but not too many updates on Beast Burger. So let's swoop-a-doop and get into food court. Because now we are officially, we can't say food courts really starting with my poops. No, we can't. We can't do that. All right, let's get into Beast Burger. So for a quick road so far, Mr. Beast was sued by Virtual Dining Concepts. VDC and Celebrity Virtual Dining is the company that was facilitating Beast Burger. They were saying that Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donaldson, was breaching his contract by going on Twitter and elsewhere saying that he wants to move away from Beast Burger, that he was undermining his contract, et cetera, et cetera. This lawsuit is being run through Matthew Rosengart's law firm, Greenberg Torrig. So Virtual Dining Concepts is represented by Britney Spears' attorney. Fascinating. So they sue in the Supreme Court of New York in state court. Then Mr. Beast sues them in federal court. Mr. Beast's lawsuit, that was too many S's. Mr. Beast's lawsuit is the one that had all the pictures of the food, saying that VDC or Virtual Dining Concepts was not holding up their end of the bargain because they weren't maintaining quality. All they did was extend the reach for, like, this is a lawsuit of raw chicken and greed, right? So all they did was extend their locations and try to extend worldwide. And Mr. Beast alleged that they had registered the trademarks in Beast Burger without his approval, and that they had gone ahead and done weird shit like those. Where are they? Let me scroll without making any of you motion sick. That they had used his likeness in advertising that wasn't approved, that they were not using approved restaurants. They clipped in a bunch of YouTube videos talking about how disgusting Mr. Beast Burger was, Reddit reviews, and all the rest of it. So I couldn't even get through half of this because some of the photos of the raw chicken just sent me. Even saying that out loud makes my stomach feel slightly gross. So the best part of all of this was the ridiculous advertisements. I mean, just from the amount of conferences I've gone to where I've seen Mr. Beast and his team talk about how much time and money they spend on the thumbnails of their videos, I'm not surprised that some of his complaints are like, we would never approve this for advertising. Like, what are you doing? Part of this agreement, according to Mr. Beast, was the protection of brand reputation of Mr. Beast, not just Beast Burger. And he's like, yo, I spend thousands. What's so funny is looking at who liked the post. That's funny. But like, who approved these? He would never, like, he would literally never. So these are posts from the Beast Burger social media channels that were not approved by Jimmy or his team. He's praying to the burger in Ireland, apparently. The luck of the Irish is on our side. So these ads are just, these were the like final straw. The raw chicken started it, but then we got to the tiny hand and the very big burger. Absolute ridiculousness. So that was in federal court, and we saw interviews given by Virtual Dining Concepts saying, hey, what are you doing? Like, we have agreements. This can't be in state court, blah, 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 blah. So Mary P says they also aren't very culturally sensitive. Yeah, they're wild. The ads are a testament to their quality. The Ireland ad is ridiculous. It just all of it. So they look just like his dumpster thumbnails. Chris, don't tell him that. It's wild. So then, after the lawsuit was filed in federal court, we get this order to show cause from the federal judge that I covered a while back, but we're just road so faring it. This was in August. This action was filed July 31st. Plaintiff asserts that this court has subject matter jurisdiction to hear the matter because the parties are completely diverse from each other. The complaint does not properly state the citizenship of the corporate parent of the plaintiff LLC or defendant. So the court said, you must fix by August 15th why this case should not be dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. So for all of you that are like back to your Legally Blonde days going, did this course have subject matter jurisdiction? Subject matter jurisdiction in federal court is having the conversation about whether these parties should be in this court. Is this the proper venue, or do they need to be in state court? And there's another case pending in state court, and Mr. Beast could countersue or cross-claim in state court. So then what we get on October or August 14th, right before that deadline of like, do you even have subject matter jurisdiction, is a notice of voluntary dismissal. So the federal lawsuit is over. It's dismissed without prejudice. What this indicates to me is that Mr. Beast is going to pursue in the state court what is happening. For those of you who are like, subject matter jurisdiction, and you're thinking of the Brooks trial, this is actually an example where the court was like, but is there subject matter jurisdiction? And everybody's like, oh, bet. So what I will do next food court is dive back into the state case. The federal case is closed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction with a voluntary dismissal. And it might be because the parties aren't completely diverse. So there are multiple businesses and holding companies. And if the holding companies are in the same states as some of these parties, then there is no complete diversity of the parties. The parties have to be in different states. Sammy asked, why are you not covering the Take Care of Maya trial? Sammy, have you watched the Take Care of Maya trial? No. Nope. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I know Rob from Law and Lumber is doing a kind of bit by bit coverage of it in the evenings. It is way too much. And the trial was going on while I was traveling. And if I'm going to do live trial coverage, I try to make sure that I'm not starting live trial coverage and then stopping and then moving. That case is way too close to home for me. So it is very much too heavy after some of the other things that we've covered. I know Rob's covering it. I don't know if Natalie Lawyer Chick is covering it, but no, it is nope. Yeah, no. It is so heavy. So that's why I'm not covering it. Not just because of the subject matter, but also because of my travel. And there are a lot of cases like that, but so let's see. Rob is doing a roundup. I don't know if Natalie Lawyer Chick's doing a roundup. Yeah, it's a pass for me based on subject matter. I will be interested to see how it turns out because it is a different use of the law, but it is a very heavy and difficult trial. So it is not a trial I can sit through day by day. And then Natalie just did really fantastic coverage of the prosecutorial fuckery that's going on in the YNW Melly case, which is wild. So I am keeping an eye on that too. We're not diving into coverage yet there, but I'm keeping an eye on what's going on there because the prosecutorial misconduct is probably something I will weigh in on at some point. Peter's covering it too. So Peter's covering it too. And that's an area in the country where he practices. It's a very, very hard case. So I absolutely pick and choose my coverage of how I cover and when I cover things. I want to make sure I can be helpful. And as we talked about earlier in this stream, when I am very deeply emotionally bothered by a case, I don't think that I can be helpful. And me being on stream, processing my emotions in real time isn't helpful for anyone. And it isn't a lot of fun for me. So I try to make sure that I can cover things compassionately and also bring something to the table more than just me being like, nope, 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 nope. But I'm interested to see, and maybe at the end, we will talk about the law that's at play here without getting into the facts of the case too heavily, and how this is a unique case where a hospital is being or potentially being held responsible. And we will talk about that kind of at the end. So that's all of the reasons why. But very much, I'm not going to jump into a case where I can't cover it top to finish. So, what else? Let's get back into Mr. Beast. So I will always tell you guys why I am or am not covering cases. Sometimes it might just be travel. Sometimes it might be that the subject matter is too heavy. Sometimes it might be that I know lawyers involved or what have you. So it just really depends. But I will tell you guys when you are interested. Katie said this is really Rob's wheelhouse due to his specialization in family law. And I think that's something that I appreciate about Rob is his sensitivity to covering cases, because he does work in family law and he does work with families doing all different kinds of stuff. So that is that's really interesting to see. All right. So are we ready to move on real quick to what is next? What is next? Let's see. I am getting texts that are just wild at the moment. All right. This is why I normally put my phone on mute. I will get back. I got distracted. Apologies. God, it's the ADHD. It's absolutely the ADHD. ADHD. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Here's what I appreciate about being an ADHD adult is when I do parent-teacher conferences, which is what's going on this week, I can be like, hey, let me ADHD explain ADHD for you. All right. So Beast Burger, we'll be jumping back into Beast Burger in the state court to see what happens. Here's where I'm most fascinated about Beast Burger. What obligation does the company that Mr. Beast partnered with have to protect the brand reputation of Mr. Beast? And where are those boundaries? And that's kind of what I'm looking at that case for. Just like with the Crumble Cookie cases, and right now they're fighting over discovery, but just like with the Crumble Cookie wars, I'm very interested to see how you're going to really say that a rectangular box is all that unique to put cookies in. Boxes, come in kind of finite shapes, one would think. So we're going to dive into Texas Pete, and then we're going to roll from Texas Pete to Starbucks. Does that make sense? So hold on one second. That's interesting. All right, guys. Texas Pete. Wait. Federal case, Beast Burger, done. It's not really a full case closed. It's just a halvesies case closed. So case half closed. What's a half closed? Hold on. Wait. This is what a half closed is.
It's this. Y'all, let me tell you, trying to explain the
screaming goat in a live stage presentation was amazing, because I could tell the law nerds in the audience who were with me on Vincent Van Gogh, and Vincent Van Gogh is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So with all of that, we need to talk about Texas Pete. Are we ready? This is one of my favorite lawsuits of all time. One of my favorite lawsuits of all time. Why is the Texas Pete lawsuit one of my favorite lawsuits of all time? Because it's a dude from California suing a food company from North Carolina over a hot sauce called Texas Pete that he bought because he was looking for a Louisiana-style hot sauce, and he's mad that it wasn't made in Texas. That's why. Californian sues North Carolina company over Texas Pete hot sauce, saying he was looking for a Louisiana style hot sauce and he's mad it's not made in Texas. That happened. That happened. So the motion to dismiss was filed, and we are going to go through the court's order denying the motion to dismiss. This order came down in July, and we are going to go through all of it. So let's pull up the court's motion denying the motion to dismiss. All right. There's more updates, but we're going to do this one first. Order denying defendant's motion to dismiss. Before this court is the motion to dismiss filed by T.W. Garner Food Company. What I love about a federal judge, a great judge, is how they condense a case. Plaintiff Philip White is an individual residing in Los Angeles. The food group T.W. Garner, or we're going to go with White and T.W., is the owner and distributor of Texas Pete hot sauce products, including Texas Pete Original Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hotter Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Roasted Garlic Hot Sauce, collectively products. It manufactures and produces in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. TW does not use ingredients sourced from Texas. The TW website explicitly admits that while its products are advertised as Texas products, the products are and have always been manufactured in North Carolina. Look, here's the thing. Chat, tell me what you think. I think Texas Pete, tell me there's a picture. Okay, thank God. I think Texas Pete is the character. Isn't Texas Pete this character? Isn't that what it is? Isn't it just, do I not take things seriously enough? I thought Texas Pete was the character. A hot sauce is distinctly a Texas if it's made in the state of Texas using Texas ingredients and flavor profiles. The state of Texas is known for its hot sauce, and there is consumer appeal for Texas-made products. No, I'm going to have to sidebar for a second. So when we were trying to get to the after party that then got shut down because of Minecraft, the traffic was starting to back up as we were trying to get into downtown Dallas. And what I saw happening on the side of the road was everybody in a truck that was like F-250 and larger. There was no exit ramp, but they were just like, and driving up. And I'm looking over going, this is the most Texas shit ever. I'm not mad at it, by the way. If your truck can do it, like whatever. But it was truck after truck after truck, just being like, yeah, the highway's not for me anymore. So off I go down the side of the road. I was like, this is the most Texas shit ever. I thought it was amazing. But it's also moving from Southern California to Tennessee. People are like, there's open space there. It's grass. I can park in it, which I also kind of love. That parking is just like, hey, it's wherever. Anyway, okay. The product's labeling includes a white Lone Star, reminiscent of the star on the Texas state flag. Wait, is that why never mind. I was going to say, is that why there's a star on the Dallas Cowboys like helmets? I'm joking. A white Lone Star reminiscent of the state of Texas, as well as a cartoon image of a cowboy throwing a lasso, not Ted. The cowboy image is also etched on the front of the glass bottle itself. I didn't know that. I love that little footnote detail. True and correct images of the product labels are set forth below. Oh, it totally is. I don't know if that's etched. That's more embossed. It looks raised. Wait, where's Dr. B? Dr. B! Bring the Texas Pete. I thought I had put it in my background. Because often for food court, I will get mementos and put them back here. There's wine and things. I think Travis might have stolen my Texas Pete hot sauce. Okay, so there is the Lone Star. There is Texas Pete with a lasso. There are things. All of you are like, New York City. The chat will now be divided by those of you who remember the, was it Pace Picante ads that was like, this hot sauce is made in New York City. New York City. Get a rope. Those commercials. back when we all used to watch the same commercials, because we all used to watch commercials because there were 7 channels. The products include a back label that provides the TW name and states Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 27105, as well as the phrase product of the USA. So this is what's on the back of the food. Okay. And maybe partially produced with genetic engineering. Okay. In or around September 2021, White purchased a bottle of the original product from a Ralph's grocery store in Los Angeles, California for $3. At the time of the purchase, White, relying on the language and imagery of the label, believed that the original product was a product manufactured in Texas. If White had been aware that the product was not manufactured in Texas, he would not have purchased it, or he would have paid significantly less for it. $3, it's worth $1 because it's not made in Texas. If it's not Texas, it's crap. On September 12th, 2022, White filed the instant putative class action against the food company for all of these different causes of actions that we've already gone over. Motion to dismiss, everything's taken in the light most favorable, right? To survive a motion to dismiss, a complaint must contain sufficient factual matter to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. To state a claim of relief that is plausible on its face. Remember, we just went over a few weeks ago the macaroni and cheese lawsuit where the court is like, you're not harmed. Get off. There's a $500 fine for illegally exiting the highway in Texas. That's interesting to know. Everyone in their trucks did not seem to care. But it's good to know. I mean, it makes sense that there would be rules. But also, everybody was like, meh. Let's go. This is plausibility. Rule 9, heightened pleading standard. While all complaints must plead sufficient factual allegations to survive a 12b6 motion, allegations containing elements of fraud are held to a heightened pleading standard. When alleging fraud or mistake, a party must state with particularity the circumstances constituting fraud. Here, the particularity is that it says Texas Pete, and they're saying they wouldn't have purchased it had they not. I see in the chat, Dervis, we're going to get back to the pasta, I promise. Next food court, we're getting back to the burrito. Let's see. Discussion. White's California consumer protection claims are adequately pled. White brings claims under the UCL and the FAL and the CLRA. All 3 of these California statutes prohibit unlawful, unfair, or fraudulent business practices. All 3 statutes have similar goals. Any unlawful, unfair, or fraudulent business acts or practices prohibits false or misleading advertising, which is untrue or misleading, and which is known or should be known to be untrue or misleading. We're going to have to go through the Red Bull Gives You Wings lawsuit, and this is going to come up in the next lawsuit when we talk about Starbucks. At what point, though, is it really deceptive? You guys will have to let me know. Are you deceived when the back of it says made in Winston-Salem? Or do you look at this with Texas Pete and go, that's a Texas hot sauce? You guys will have to, let's put up a poll. We're putting up a poll. Because you might not agree with it. And that's totally fair. You might not agree with it and be like, this is stupid. But could some consumers be misled over the fact that it's called Texas Pete? Can you see where that would happen? Or is this, yes, it says Texas. No, it's a character. All right. And this is not, are you misled? It's, could you see how some customers are misled? All right. Let's see what you think. Because it's fair. If you're in the grocery store, how closely do you look at products? And how closely are you supposed to look at products? And at what point do they have to make it clear that it's not a product from there. Oh my God, our family fought over Texas toast last night. We have 4 family members. There were 3 pieces. But I also assume Texas toast is a style of toast, right? So let's see. This gets into the plausibility standard, heightened pleading for fraud. Let's see. To succeed under the reasonable consumer test, a plaintiff must establish that a product's packaging is likely to deceive a member of the public. Reasonable consumer. Reasonable. Not this consumer, because you could lie, right? A reasonable consumer. This requires more than a mere possibility that the label might conceivably be misunderstood by some few consumers viewing it at an unreasonable manner. Rather, the reasonable consumer standard requires a probability that a significant portion of the general consuming public or of targeted consumers acting reasonably in the circumstances could be misled. If you are not from Winston-Salem and you are just rolling around the grocery store and you see Texas Pete, do you think that it's made in Texas? Many courts have considered the question of what satisfies the likely to deceive standard, and the Ninth Circuit, which covers California, recently distilled 3 key themes from the cases. First, so this is the test. When you are going through what is a reasonable consumer, this is, if it goes to a jury, which surely it won't, this is what they would have to determine. First, literal truth can sometimes protect a product manufacturer from a misleading claim, but it's no guarantee. Whereas there is no protection for literal falseness, i.e., Red Bull gives you wings. Second, qualifiers in packaging, usually on the back label or ingredient list, can ameliorate any tendency of the label to mislead, like where it says made in Winston-Salem. If, however, a back label ingredient list conflicts with rather than confirms the front label, the plaintiff is not defeated. And that's what's happening here. It conflicts. Finally, brand names by themselves can be misleading in the context of the product being marketed. Deceptive brand names require of the consumer little thought, which can make consumers susceptible to purchasing because they won't have had time or interest to read about the product on the website or the back of the box. So, literal truth can be a protection, no protection for literal falseness. Qualifiers can help, but they're not dispositive. And brand names can be misleading. So the name Texas Pete can be misleading. All right. Food company seeks a dismissal of the claims on the grounds that the complaint lacks allegations that satisfy the reasonable consumer standard. White's allegation rests on the product's packaging, namely the presence of a white lone star reminiscent of the star on the Texas state flag, a cartoon image of a cowboy throwing a lasso, not Ted, and the brand name Texas Pete. Footnote 3. White also refers to the cartoon image of the cowboy etched on the glass, but does not allege that he relied on this info in his purchase, so the court does not consider it. White also refers to the fact that the original product is branded original, but since it's not common to all products, the court does not consider that fact here. According to White, a reasonable interpretation of the product's label would lead a consumer to believe that the products are produced in Texas. Garner maintains that a reasonable consumer is likely to be misled by the product's label, as nothing on the product's packaging or label misrepresents any fact as to its origin. T.W. Garner points out to the court to a number of trial court decisions to support its contention that imagery or language reminiscent of a particular location does not meet the reasonable consumer standard. They argue that the packaging does not imply that the product was manufactured in Texas, and that a reasonable consumer would understand the trademark symbol next to Texas Pete, that the name indicates that the Texas Pete brand name is just that, a brand name. Stephen Simmons in the chat says, as a Canadian, I can categorically state that there is nothing about Canadian bacon that is Canadian. I mean, fair. Chicago pizza sold in California isn't made in Chicago. Also fair. Look, I get it, you guys. I get it. I get it. While considering the label as a whole, the court finds that a reasonable consumer relying on the product's labels could believe erroneously that the products originated in Texas. Looking first at the use of the word Texas, it's plausible that a reasonable consumer would assume that the use of the term refers to the state. Looking at the combination of Texas and Pete, the phrase, at the very least, indicates that Texas modifies Pete. When you guys are like, oh, you lawyers are just splitting hairs. Yes! It's literally the whole gig. Literally the whole gig. At the very least indicates that Texas modifies Pete with the ultimate result that Pete is from or derives from Texas, and that the hot sauce itself is or derives from Texas. So this is how we get to the court not dismissing this on a motion to dismiss. Remember, the motion to dismiss takes everything in the light most favorable to the party filing the case. So I hoped that it was helpful going through how the court looks at the reasonable consumer standard and how the court parses this, taking every inference most favorable to the plaintiff in this case. Does that make sense? Chat, hopefully that makes sense. I very much hope so. All right, let's go to what comes next in this case. All right. Where is it? Where is my last? All right. This was filed September 28th. So, you guys want me to read through the poll? We're not going to read through the poll. I love that. Could some consumers be misled? 37% of you were like, yeah, it says Texas. And 63% of you were like, no, it's a character. Because again, if this went to a jury, this is more like a jury poll, not a judge going, we get further in this lawsuit. So once the court denied the motion to dismiss, I think we see a settlement happen. And here's why. This is coming to us from September 28th. This is docket 41. This is the plaintiff's motion to dismiss. So Philip White and Food Company. This motion is made following the conference of counsel, which took place on September 19th. The motion is made pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 41A2. The motion is based on notice of motion and declarations. Let's go through those. Plaintiff's memorandum of points and authorities. I always hear the music in my head. Points and authorities, motion to dismiss. It's a lot of case law. Plaintiff respectfully moves to voluntarily dismiss this action without prejudice or conditions. This relief is proper for several reasons. First, there would be no plain legal prejudice to defendant, as the relief requested would dispose of the case entirely, resolving all issues and claims, leaving no lingering issues to address. Second, at this early stage of litigation, there's been no meaningful trial preparation, but only a pleadings challenge, some written discovery, and subpoenas just served 2 weeks ago by defendant. Still, plaintiff has litigated the case diligently by propounding written discovery immediately after the court denied defendant's motion to dismiss in its entirety, almost 2 months ahead of the parties' Rule 26F conference. This diligence supports the requested relief. Third, plaintiff has been compelled to seek dismissal due to the harassment he and his friends have experienced in connections with defendant's discovery efforts, including unfounded and personally defamatory accusations inexplicably lodged in an initial case management statement by defendant with zero evidentiary basis. What? What in the world? I didn't pull the case management statement. Hold on. If we don't get to start, do we need to pull the case management statement? Hold on. Plaintiff was like, I don't want any of the smoke. Do we need to pull? We might need to just go pull that and get to Starbucks later. So the defendant is saying that the plaintiff is saying that they are being harassed by Texas Pete, and that they are experiencing harassment. Are they going to bring another lawsuit? Like, what is happening? What? I just thought this was a basic motion to dismiss. Let's find out more. Let's see what else they have to say. Procedural background. On September 12th, 2022, plaintiff filed this false advertising class action against defendant for deceptively creating the false impression that its Texas Pete hot sauce are made in Texas, when in reality, they are neither made in Texas nor with ingredients sourced there, but instead made entirely in a factory in North Carolina. So are Mr. Beast's video. They're not made with real beasts. Plaintiff seeks relief under California consumer protection statutes and common law on behalf of a nationwide class. On November 10th, defendant filed a motion to dismiss the complaint. The parties fully briefed it. The court denied the motion. Let's see. Defendant filed its answer to the complaint the same day the court set a case management conference for October 5th. September 14th or September 12th, the defendant served written discovery on plaintiff, and it issued deposition and document subpoenas to 2 non-parties on September 15th. Plaintiff addressed those subpoenas issued to non-parties in an email to defendant and requested a meet and confer call pursuant to local rules with defendant regarding plaintiff's prospective motions, including this motion to dismiss. The next day, plaintiff and defendant met and conferred to discuss in part plaintiff's motion to dismiss. Plaintiff formally objected via letter to defendant's third-party deposition and document subpoenas. On September 21st, the plaintiffs filed their joint management statement. Dismissal is appropriate. An action may be dismissed at the plaintiff's request only by court order. Dismissal should be allowed because the defendant cannot demonstrate it will suffer legal prejudice. So you can't force the plaintiff to keep going, and they're asking the court not to force the plaintiff to keep going because now they're like, fuck this, I'm out. This case is only 12 months old. User error. Where did it go? This case is only 12 months old. Dismissal should be without prejudice because they might want to file it again. Let's see. I want to get to the statements. Let's see. No terms or conditions. Plaintiff seeks voluntary dismissal to stop defendant's harassment. This is what I'm interested in. What is happening? Plaintiff wishes to voluntarily dismiss this action without prejudice as a result of defendant's persistent and escalating harassment and intimidation based on meritless speculation that plaintiff was purportedly recruited to bringing this class action against defendant by plaintiff's counsel as a result of an illegal capper arrangement. Okay, look. I can see where the food company would think that. A lot of... Look, man, I don't think that this plaintiff, and I could be completely wrong, but it is not many people that sit there and look at their Texas Pete hot sauce that they bought for $3 and say, you know what? Fuck you, Texas Pete. I'm going to bring a class action lawsuit that will cost a ton of money, but it's probably done on contingency, to fight you over the fact that you said that this was Texas Pete. Maybe they are that bothered. I get petty too when I'm bothered. I get it. I can be petty AF. I get it. I get the fuck you. But a lot of people don't take that initial like, fuck you, that's misleading on my $3. Most people don't take the next step of finding a plaintiff's attorney and bringing a lawsuit. Maybe this defendant was really that mad about it. But a lot of people would just go back to Ralph's and be like, this isn't made in Texas, and get their $3 back and just move on with their day. But I don't know. Would the harassment make me pettier? Yup. Yup, it would. Yup, it would. It would make me pettier. It would not make me back down. Defendant's baseless accusations are predicated entirely on an unrelated case that plaintiff filed in a different court against a different defendant. White versus Kroger. Why did you sue Kroger, which is a grocery store? That has been dismissed. On October 21st, 2021, plaintiff filed Kroger. Kroger, in turn, unjustifiably hired private investigators to surveil and intrude upon the privacy of third parties. Oh, there's drama here. I need to look at the other case. We need to look at the other case. This is more dramatic than I anticipated for today. I was like, oh, they probably settled. Nope. Nope. Kroger, in turn, unjustifiably hired private investigators. They tend to do that if you're in a lawsuit, to surveil and intrude upon the privacy of third parties. These investigators were dispatched to personally serve or attempt to serve deposition and document subpoenas at the homes and workplaces of the individuals that they're naming here, as well as other family members and friends of the plaintiff. Often, process servers will surveil you when deciding to serve you. Is this somebody who likes to litigate? Ultimately, plaintiff was forced to file a motion to dismiss to stop defense counsel's harassment. There are a lot of red flags here. The court later granted plaintiff's motion, making no finding of an illegal arrangement that defendant accuses plaintiff and his counsel of engaging in or wrongdoing of any kind. Then why did you dismiss it? Still, defendant elected to mislead the court by suggesting falsely that its speculative claims were somehow substantiated in Kroger. In a calculated effort to exact the very same intimidation and harassment in Kroger, defendant deployed private investigators to personally serve third parties, as well as stake out and follow another third party. On September 15th, defendant's private investigator went to people he doesn't want harassed and names all over this thing, went to the home in the middle of the workday and aggressively knocked on the front door in a disruptive manner that interrupted an important work meeting in which he was presenting. I mean, I also don't want people knocking on my door in a disruptive manner. But process servers will often come to your door and like knock on it. This is a journey I did not expect to take today. That same day, defendant's private investigator went to Clarkson's law firm to photograph the employees' personal vehicles, which were parked in a restricted gated lot, including Miss Anderson's vehicle. Miss Anderson, who was working in the office at the time, saw the investigator gaining a vantage point and taking photos of the vehicles over the wall. Process servers will do that or follow you on your daily walks or runs. Process servers will find out where you're going to be so they can serve you. It feels very intrusive and invasive. It's also part of the process. Lawsuits aren't fucking fun for anyone involved in them. I mean, they're going to serve you. Debbie Jo is like, isn't the point of knocking to disrupt you? Yes, so you'll come to the door. When he realized he had been spotted, he hastily departed the premises. After Anderson left the office, defendant's investigator followed her recklessly and closely on her commute home and in a manner that made her feel unsafe. If you are driving and you feel unsafe, drive to a police location or call law enforcement. You can do that. If somebody is following you and you feel unsafe, do not go home. The combination of being stalked at her workplace and then tailgated on her way home reasonably caused Miss Anderson distress. Upon arriving home, the investigator was waiting in his car parked outside Anderson's house. Anderson approached the investigator and inquired why he was following her. If you are afraid of someone, do not approach them in their car. Did they like bang on the window disruptively? Like, why are you following me? He identified himself as a former FBI agent, that he was there to serve Anderson's husband with a subpoena. Anderson went into the house, retrieved her husband, and brought him outside to the investigator, who then personally served him. So it all resolved very normally. I mean, Miss Anderson could have been super petty and have gone inside and been like, somebody's trying to serve you. Maybe just lock the door and don't answer it. Like, so she believed that they were a service of process agent. On September 15, 2023, defendant's private investigator served Daniel's father, Christopher O'Brien, at his private residence. How are all these people involved in this? Further, the subpoenas seek wholly irrelevant, privileged, and unduly burdensome documents. That's for a motion to quash, including, for example, the O'Brien's private communications with their wife and daughter-in-law. Is it about making food with the fucking hot sauce? What is happening? I don't understand how the hot sauce has spiraled into this family drama with people not the plaintiff. What is happening? And this is a motion to quash. You get a lawyer to say no. The O'Brien's communication with any employee at the law firm, which totals more than 100 different employees, communications with the clients, communications they received, posted on websites at any time related to defendant, a list of attendees at the wedding ceremony and reception. Did they serve barbecue and hot sauce at the wedding? I need to know what was on the menu. Did it say dancing and drugs anywhere on the timeline for this wedding? The shark has been jumped on all of this. And I am going to deep dive this. Rye said, I live for this useless drama. This is funny as fuck. We're doing a deep dive. I need to know. I need to know everything. What is happening? I'm still confused about the relation to the hot sauce. Same. Food court has now jumped into I don't even know what. But instead of dismissing the lawsuit, file a motion to quash. Okay. Any communications the O'Briens received or posted on public websites at any time related to defendant, a list of all attendees of the wedding ceremony and reception. Do we get a timeline? Is there a cuddle puddle? We need to know. Defendant insists that the O'Briens' testimonies and documents are relevant to determine whether plaintiff is participating in this action as a result of an illegal capper agreement. However, defendant has failed to provide any evidentiary basis supporting its allegations and would not be able to because no such arrangement exists. Instead, defendant relies solely on the unsubstantiated accusations made by other counsel in another case without any evidence. There is fucking drama here. I can smell it. I need to know everything. Yet defendant has taken 0 steps to obtain information it seeks in good faith. But why are you dismissing your suit then? If you think they're fucking around with you, why dismiss it? It has not attempted to depose plaintiff to obtain testimony from him whatsoever and has not even noticed plaintiff's deposition. Okay. Instead, defendant is simply imitating my brain was thinking intimidating, and that's not what the word said, but the letters were similar enough that I buffered. Instead, defendant is simply imitating the harassment tactics and strategies employed by the defense counsel and Kroger, regurgitating false accusations against plaintiff, his counsel, and their friends and families, just as these same intimidation tactics were designed to evoke psychological intimidation in Kroger. Here, defendant is aiming to persecute plaintiff to the point he abandons his pursuit to hold defendant accountable for its deceptive and misleading practices because this hot sauce is not fucking made in Texas. Holy shit. Okay. So, Texas Pete plaintiff is alleging that the food company that makes Texas Pete is engaging in psychological intimidation the same way they did in another lawsuit. But what I'm reading is that they are engaging in process to depose people. Now, I might be missing stuff. We need a more full picture of all of this. But they're like, look, we need to depose people. And he's like, this is psychological intimidation. I did not know this lawsuit would be public. I did not know that you would have process servers serving people with process. So the result is the plaintiff saying, fuck you, but also I'm dismissing the lawsuit. My nose is running. I can't handle this. What is this? Okay. We're not done. We're not done. We might not get to Starbucks today, friends. I did not anticipate the wildness or how long Poopsie Slime Surprise would take me to cover. All right. Specifically, they allege defendant has targeted individuals unrelated to this lawsuit merely because of their tenuous relation to plaintiff. File a motion to quash the subpoena. Neither Daniel O'Brien nor Christopher O'Brien, who I'm sure are thrilled that their names are all over this, has ever discussed this case with plaintiff prior to being served with subpoenas. Then file the motions to quash. They have never previously discussed plaintiff's purchase of the product. They have never and will never receive any sort of consideration in connection with the case. And they have never given or promised plaintiff any sort of consideration in connection with this case. Further, defendant has not based its abusive behavior off any actual evidence that plaintiff and his counsel of record have any sort of friendship, familial relationship, or financial relationship outside of their attorney-client relationship, nor can it. As confirmed under oath, Ryan Clarkson and Bahar Sadafi do not have a familial, social, or financial relationship with plaintiff aside from their attorney-client relationship embodied in their retainer. Courts have recognized that a pre-existing social relationship coupled with a financial relationship or familial relationship may pose a conflict of interest in a class action setting. However, people naturally reach out to lawyers they know when seeking legal representation. This is why courts in this circuit recognize that a friendship alone is no reason. Did they all go to each other's wedding? Is no reason to presume a conflict of interest. Then why dismiss it? For example, in Kessler versus IKEA, the court found plaintiff adequate, even though she had known class counsel since 4th grade, attended high school with her, saw her on a regular basis, and was a bridesmaid in her wedding. I mean, that's a close friendship. It is. Lacey said, whoever thought a hot sauce lawsuit could get this spicy? I don't know. Brian, is that you? Can you grab me the Texas Pete's out of the kitchen if you have a second? I need props. I need Wingstop. I worked 10 hours and you subpoenaed my friends and your hot sauce isn't from Texas. Oh my God. Okay. That's a close friendship if you're somebody's bridesmaid, though, depending on the time that the lawsuit's filed, friendships ebb and flow. The court found plaintiff was adequate, notwithstanding the fact that he and his attorney are neighbors and close friends. Their kids go to school together. They do block parties and dinners together. They borrow tools from one another. They have been in each other's homes. They go out to dinner and drinks together. The court explained, and others have previously found, in the absence of some evidence to indicate that a friendship between the class representative and one of his attorneys would create a conflict of interest, the court would not presume one. Indeed, plaintiff's counsel has been unable to find a single case in which a court found a friendship between a class representative and employee at the same firm as a class counsel creates a conflict. Okay, much less a basis for defendant to charge publicly the friendship as an illegal capper agreement with zero evidence from the outset of discovery. In the end, defendant has successfully intimidated plaintiff into dismissing this action through its deliberate use of subpoenas to harass plaintiff. It sounds like there was like one subpoena to each party. The fact that it's being dropped.
The fact that it's being dropped is sus to me. Like 3 people get subpoenaed and you're like, fuck it, I'm out.
That raises questions for me. Through its deliberate use of subpoenas to harass plaintiff, his friends, his counsel, and his counsel's family members, and by leveraging the public nature of legal proceedings to defame him publicly in an initial case management statement. Thank you.
Props.
That's not the right one.
That's the Texas.
We needed the Texas Pete. Now
specifically, and then we also have a kit to make our own hot sauce.
I don't need to make my own hot sauce. It would very much not be made in Texas, but apparently we have a hot sauce making kit. I need to tell Ian Runkle.
We have 2.
Where do you think this is made?
Texas Pete?
Yeah.
New York City!
You're the best ever. Love you, babe. Oh, Travis hasn't had any of it. Look.
I brought you the unopened one.
There's an open one, isn't there? Yeah, he stole it out of my office. The kid loves hot sauce. I know. Apparently, we need to. Where did this come from? Apparently, we have a hot sauce making kit. Did you tell Travis that we have this?
It's one of those things that went up in the cabinet. We forgot.
Oh, he would love that. You didn't need to bring me all the hot sauce. Well, I'm the prop. You're the prop master? Thank you, darling. It does have a embossed, raised, not etched Texas Pete on there, but it also says very clearly, well, it says gluten-free larger than anything, but it definitely says in large letters back here that it is made North Carolina. Anyway, props, we have hot sauce. This is such a strange way to dismiss this lawsuit. Like, by leveraging the public nature of legal proceedings to defame him publicly in an initial case management statement with speculative and unfounded charges. This is in his declaration. Defendant's behavior is unacceptable. The aforementioned events leave plaintiff feeling understandably uncomfortable and wanting to voluntarily dismiss this action as a result of defendant's abhorrent behavior. Are you suing them over their behavior? As such, plaintiff reluctantly believes the only course of action that will save him and any other individuals defendant may later choose to harass is to dismiss this action without prejudice. I need to see these declarations. Are you ready for declarations? Let's get to the declarations. I have so many fucking questions. I have so many questions. Declaration. I'm a partner at this is from Bahar Sadafi. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. I'm probably not. Partner at the Clarkson Law Firm, counsel of record for Philip White, plaintiff. In this case, licensed to practice in all state and federal courts, state of California, member of good standing of the bar, personal knowledge of the facts set forth. Relevant procedural dates. We already went through the relevant procedural dates. Friendship between employee, spouse, and client alone creates a conflict. No case regarding friendship between employee, spouse, and client alone creates a conflict of interest. Plaintiff's counsel have been unable to find a single case in which the court found a friendship between the class representative and an employee at the same firm as class counsel alone creates any sort of conflict. I mean, lots of people work at law firms. Dismissal without prejudice will not prejudice the class. Compliance with firm policy regarding client retention. To be clear, I have never and will never pay or promise to pay clients or third parties in exchange for filing a lawsuit. This is where that line of like predatory, I'm not saying these attorneys are. I don't know these attorneys. This might be well outside of what they do, but there are attorneys that will find class plaintiffs and be like, were you harmed? A lot of them use television advertising. Were you harmed by this? Were you harmed by that? And then recruit that way. But you cannot promise them money for that and say, hey, go buy this. And then tell me if you would have bought it if it didn't say this. But you often wonder, like, what's going on? So, Sylvana, Ralph's is owned by Kroger. Yes, he sued the store first. He sued Kroger, but I don't know what for. We need to go look. And then he sued Texas Pete's that he bought at Ralph's. So if he sued Kroger over this, I've got a lot of questions. What do you do for work, Jeff? Oh, I sue companies from 9 to 5. I didn't see JB in the chat, but I see the chat saying hi to JB. JB, food court's the best. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you, JB. I love y'all's coverage. You guys know I adore WFLA, and JB's Stream Center is incredible. He creates community and newscasting. When I say earlier in the stream, find people whose voices you trust, JB is definitely coverage that I trust for all kinds of breaking things because they cover the facts, not the fuckery. I don't even know what to think of this today. I don't know. Okay. So the firm is saying they're not manufacturing a fake lawsuit over the Texas Pete hot sauce. This includes paying people to buy falsely advertised products or paying people to lie about buying falsely advertised products. If I discovered that any of the attorneys or staff members or any clients or third parties paid a client or third party to recruit a plaintiff to file a lawsuit, manufacture a fake lawsuit, knowingly bought falsely advertised products or lied about buying products, I would immediately advise the managing partner, Ryan Clarkson, so that the firm could terminate the employment. They're saying, look, we don't do this. Any and all accusations that I or any of my colleagues at the firm have procured plaintiff as part of a capper scheme or other illegal arrangement are patently false. No promises or payments. I want to know where the outrage over the Texas Pete started. How did this plaintiff discover that this hot sauce was not made in Texas, and where was the rage? And then what happened? Okay. So the lawyer's reiterating this. I am not manufacturing this lawsuit or this client. We have no pre-existing relationship, etc. Declaration of Ryan Clarkson, which is going to be more of the same. This is Ryan Clarkson of the firm. The firm does class actions lawsuits, contested class actions, engaged by thousands of clients to bring mass arbitrations. They go through their client retention policy. They don't make promises. Clarkson Law Firm, including all attorneys and staff members, never paid or promised to pay any person or recruit plaintiff or any other clients to file this lawsuit. This include payments or promises of payments to Daniel O'Brien, Christopher O'Brien, or Lori Anderson. Likewise, the firm has not paid or promised to pay those individuals in connection with this lawsuit. Let's see. I have no familial, financial, or social relationship with plaintiff outside of attorney-client relationship. Okay, I want to see what the plaintiff has to say, and we need to explore the other lawsuit on the next food court, which is going to have to be soon because now I'm invested. Are we invested? Hold on. Are we invested in the drama? I need to start another poll. Do we need to pull the case management statement? 85% of you said yes. All right, let's start a new poll. Are we invested in this plaintiff? Because if the plaintiff's being harassed, I want to know. Because there's some dramatic stuff going on, and I want to know. I'm invested. I need to know if y'all are invested. Did the firm not brief this plaintiff before going through with the lawsuit? You would think it would have been a conversation, especially since the plaintiff brought another Kroger lawsuit and then said they were harassed and dismissed it. Declaration of Plaintiff Philip White. Sir, what did Texas Pete do to you? Why are you so mad at the hot sauce? Sir, where did the hot sauce hurt you? Declaration of Philip White. I am the plaintiff in this action. I'm over the age of 18. Kroger action. In early fall 2021, I filed a lawsuit regarding reef-friendly Kroger sunscreens entitled White versus the Kroger Company. Filed October 12th, 2021. Kroger then deployed private investigators to stake out, follow, and invade the privacy of third parties in their homes and at their jobs to personally serve or attempt to personally serve deposition or document subpoenas. That is what process servers do. These third parties included Daniel O'Brien and Christopher O'Brien and other family members of the O'Briens. Who are the O'Briens? And several friends of mine. My brain's buffering. Kroger's persistent and escalating intimidation tactics and harassment of both myself and other people that I know ultimately resulted in me deciding to file a motion to dismiss the case in June 2023, which the court granted. Okay. So Mr. White sued Kroger over reef-friendly sunscreens. And then when the process servers did process serving, he said, I am being intimidated, and then dismissed the action. But who are the O'Briens? I am missing something. Hold on, we're going back to the other declaration. Does somebody fucking explain? Does anyone explain how the O'Briens are looped into this? The O'Briens are like, get my name out of your lawsuit. And I'm just sitting here being like, who works at the law firm? Do the O'Briens work at the law firm? Like, how are the O'Briens related to this at all? I feel like my middle school age child is telling me a story about people I don't know, that I'm expected to know, that I don't know. No one has explained in any of the things we've looked at who the O'Briens are. And how they're connected. I'm going to have to go to the firm's website. Okay. In or around September 2021. So the Kroger lawsuit was filed October 2021. In September 2021, I bought 1 bottle of Texas Pete Original Hot Sauce in Los Angeles. I relied on the advertising and labeling of the product, believing I was receiving a Texas-made product. I worked with Lauren Anderson to initiate this action because I knew she worked as an attorney on false advertising cases, and she's always seemed like the most trustworthy person. I personally think that false advertising is akin to theft by corporations. I'm beginning to understand better. And when corporations steal a few dollars from millions of people, they should not get away with it. So fuck you, Texas Pete, it is. No capper scheme to recruit me. Nobody has recruited me a part of an illegal scheme or capper arrangement. None of the people I know from the Clarkson Law Firm, nor anyone who claimed affiliation with the Clarkson Law Firm, has ever solicited me for business. This includes payments or promises of payments to me, my family members, and my friends. Daniel and Christopher O'Brien and Lauren Anderson, Anderson being the lawyer, have never solicited me to my participation or business as a client of the law firm. They have also not received any payments or promises of payments in exchange for my participation in this case. Allegations that the Clarkson Law Firm or its attorneys are illegally procuring the business of myself or any other plaintiff is false and offensive. Any suggestion that I have manufactured this lawsuit and that I knowingly bought the falsely advertised Texas Pete hot sauce for purposes of pursuing this case, or that I lied about buying the hot sauce, is patently false. I mean, if you bought the hot sauce, you can probably prove it. But he's also like, fuck you, corporations. You're stealing because of the false advertising. I have no familial, financial, or social relationship with my counsel of record. I am aware that the same harassment has begun in this case with third-party subpoenas served on. There is more to this story. More to this story. Served on Daniel O'Brien and Christopher O'Brien and a private investigator following Miss Anderson. I do not want my friends or their family to be harassed simply because I'm a plaintiff in this case. How are they involved? I am also aware the defendant is making defamatory statements about me and my character in public documents filed in this case with no basis, and I wish for that to stop. Therefore, in order to stop the continued unwarranted harassment of my friends and their family, to put an end to defendant's unfounded accusations, I have decided to dismiss my case. No communications regarding the lawsuit or purchase. Prior to the subpoenas being served, I had not discussed this case with anyone, only with my attorneys, nor have I discussed buying the Texas Pete hot sauce with anyone prior to them being served. Harassment. I feel that my friend Daniel O'Brien and his family are being unfairly harassed. How is Daniel involved? I saw this question in the chat. Where is it? But did he buy Texas Pete hot sauce at Kroger? He bought the Texas Pete hot sauce at Ralph's, which is owned by Kroger. My decision to file this lawsuit and my participation in this lawsuit, I have not engaged in any illegal scheme to manufacture fake lawsuits, which is what the capper agreement is, or to be recruited by attorneys in exchange for money. The harassment and unfounded accusations have only gotten worse since I first learned that Daniel and Christopher were subpoenaed. And while I strongly believe in this case, I do not think it's fair to subject others to this sort of harassment. Something is up. Something is up. This is the attorney saying that Lauren Anderson saying that they did not violate the firm's procurement of clients. Daniel O'Brien and Christopher O'Brien subpoenas. I have been informed that on September 15th, a private investigator personally served my father-in-law, Christopher O'Brien. So this is the lawyer's father-in-law. I was also informed that by my husband that earlier that day, a private investigator came to our home and proceeded to knock aggressively on the front door in a manner that was highly concerning to my husband and caused a severe disturbance and interruption to an important work meeting in which he was presenting. In my own experience, while I was working at the law firm, office that day in Malibu. I saw a private investigator gaining a vantage point to look over the enclosed wall and gate of the law firm's parking lot using his cell phone to take photos of employee personal vehicles. So is Daniel O'Brien the husband of the lawyer Laurie Anderson? I think that's where the wedding comes in. So this is the husband and father-in-law of the lawyer on the case, or one of the lawyers? Okay. As soon as he realized I had seen him, he quickly departed the premises. After I left the office later that day, I was followed closely on my commute by the same private investigator. If you're commuting from Malibu, everyone's following you closely. Traffic goes like this. This person was following me in a red Tesla vehicle and was recklessly and uncomfortably close to my vehicle, despite all the other lanes being open and available. What time were you commuting from Malibu that all other lanes were open and available? I just have questions. The experience of being stalked in this manner at my place of work and my commute caused me to be fearful of my safety to the point I felt I needed to take a detour from my commute before continuing to my home. Once I arrived home, the investigator was waiting there in his vehicle parked outside. When I approached him and asked him why he was following me, he responded he was a former FBI agent, indicated he intended to serve my husband with a subpoena. I went inside to retrieve my husband, who was then served. And then the case was dismissed. The subpoenaing of folks caused this plaintiff such terror that he dismissed the lawsuit, but he's had 2 lawsuits. And I just don't understand how we got from this isn't made in Texas to I am being stalked and harassed, when generally, if you think that third parties are being served without cause, those parties can make a motion to quash. So it is the lawyer, the lawyer's husband, the lawyer's father-in-law, and the allegation seems to be that they are procuring plaintiffs to sue when the plaintiff is not someone who just went to the store, bought some Texas Pete, found out that it actually wasn't from Texas and went, hey, Texas Pete, fuck you. I have been misled, and then sued. This is bananas. We're not done. This lawsuit is dismissed. I'm not playing the case closed. I'm not closed on this. We need to pull, and I don't have time today, unfortunately. We need to pull the case management and the Kroger case. We're going to need to do another food court. I might do this Thursday. I'm deeply fucking invested. The algorithm's going to be like, girl, get back to other suits. Should we do this on Thursday? Do we need a part 2? I need a part 2 of food court this week. Okay, are we invested in the drama? 88% said yes. I'm going to end the poll. Do we just do this Thursday? Yeah, I think yes. I'm putting up one last poll. Have we done all the polls today? More food court drama Thursday. I'm so invested. I don't know if I'd be able to focus on anything else till I have answers. I'm intrigued and confused. Anyone who's watching this who is involved in the Texas Pete lawsuit, feel free to email me at my public email address if you want to shed some light on what the fuck is happening here. I am so invested. I need to pull some case law on capper agreements. I need to see what's being alleged in that case management statement. I need to pull the Kroger case for sure. I thought it was strange, and I didn't pre-read because we do food court together. I thought it was strange that the motion to dismiss had like 5 affidavits. I was like, that's weird. Normally a motion to dismiss looks exactly like the Poopsie Slime surprise fucking motion to dismiss when it's like, we've agreed, please dismiss. And the court's like, bet. I'm so confused. I'm so confused as to what's happening here. I'm going to get to questions real quick because then I have got meetings this afternoon. I'm going to give you a quick preview of what's coming for the Starbucks case because we're going to cover that more too. And you guys know I love Starbucks. Look, full disclosure, I do not own stock in Starbucks. I probably should. I don't. I'm just making that disclosure as we get into this. I'm going to give a quick preview of what we're doing Thursday, and then Lori asked, can I find all 4 lawsuits? If there's 4, I'll find them. We're going to find all of these lawsuits, and I'm going to look at what else this law firm is filing. I've got all kinds of questions. I am uniquely intrigued by this, and I also love the distraction of it because I'm so ready. Amora said, I worked there for 8 years. Please email me. Please email me immediately. Please. I have so many questions. Starbucks preview. Plaintiffs Joan is alleging that the mango dragon fruit lemonade Starbucks refreshers, strawberry acai refreshers, pineapple passion fruit refreshers are not made with fruit. Despite their names and unbeknownst to consumers, mango dragon fruit lemonade contain no mango. Pineapple passion fruit and pineapple passion fruit lemonade contain no passion fruit. Strawberry acai and strawberry acai lemonade contain no acai. And all of the products are predominantly made with water, grape juice concentrate, and sugar. So, do the Starbucks refreshers have fruit? Or are they all just different colored grape juices? That is what we're going to have to get into on Thursday because I need to answer questions from the chat. Chat! You have questions. I have questions. We have questions. We need to get to questions before I need to get to, well, back to parent-teacher conferences, which are always a delight. Actually, I really love my kids' teachers. It's just being an ADHD kid that was always in trouble. It's my own shit that I'm just like, we're trying our best. All right. Oh, I have questions. You have questions. I have so many questions. I'm reeling. I did not think there was this much fucking drama in Texas Pete, but apparently there's like intimidation through service of subpoenas and shit. I'm fascinated. I see the chat asking, can I taste test the refreshers? I don't know. I don't know if I can taste test the refreshers. I might have to give up a coffee. Maybe this afternoon we will go taste test a refresher. The only one I've done is like the pink drink is made with coconut milk and the strawberry one. And that's okay. I just got completely distracted. There's a new song from NSYNC. Tell me there's going to be a tour. Tell me there's going to be a tour. Tell me if I give them my license with my year of birth, I will get priority purchasing for the tour. Tell me there's a tour. I need a tour. Anne said, Captain Corey would have loved that you said balls. I said balls a lot. Corey, I hope that you are giggling about the flying balls, all of the flying balls comments. Emily, I got married this weekend. Aaron, congratulations. A lovely and fruitful union to you. And may you always have your person to laugh with, to cry with, and sometimes to just order DoorDash with. Congratulations to you. My Texas friend lives in Tennessee. He sprinkled Texas dirt in his yard so he can say he lives in Texas. He has expressed a willingness to duel on behalf of any Texan's Texasness, even if fictional. Well, Texas Pete's residency status is being challenged, so he might have to fight for the honor of Texas Pete. 4 separate lawsuits with the same lawyer equals fuckery is afoot. There's fuckery. There's fuckery. There is fuckery afoot. Kelly in the chat said, did you see Hogue completed a 5K this weekend? I did. Hogue is superhuman at this point. He was celebrating his birthday, which is absolutely incredible. And I'm sure after being in the hospital and after suffering the stroke, it is a very big feeling birthday. But completing a 5K when he had his stroke, you never know what that recovery is going to be like, is such an incredible thing. Him and his family have been so unwavering in their optimism for his recovery. It cannot be easy. And I am just so incredibly inspired by Hogue, who is my hero. Hogue, stroke, what's that? No, this is Hogue, literally. Can I speed run it? And then he proceeded to. Attorney Tom was married. Yes, Attorney Tom just got married as well. Lots of weddings. Weddings are so joyful. Good to see you, JB, in the chat. We need Dr. Hughes to testify about this harassment. We absolutely do. Emily, I'm usually replay crew, but had to join in to ask a favor. Can you please give a shout out to my sister Val? She is a member of yours and scored a 177 on the LSAT. Val, 177 is a monumental accomplishment, and it deserves a singing pickle.
Congratulations, Val.
Also, are you sure you want to be a lawyer? Because make sure. That's really mean. Being a lawyer is great. Do it your way. There are lots of avenues of being a lawyer if you don't follow traditional paths. If you want to follow a traditional path, huzzah to you. But there are lots of ways to be a lawyer. Don't let anyone put you in a box, and rock on and have fun. And remember not to take it too seriously, because there are lawyers who just do this all day. I mean, this filing lawsuits over hot sauce, and also this, what I do. Also, I have a question. So this is the other one Dr. B brought me. This came with stickers I ordered from Sticker Mule. It's called Mule Sauce. Is it made from mules or is it to put on mules? I have questions. Chat. And who do we sue? I smell something, but it sure ain't the hot sauce. It might be the Poopsie Slime surprise. Whoever thought a hot sauce lawsuit would get this spicy? Lacey. Accurate. Apparently, plaintiff Mr. White is a serial suer and sues companies for misinformation and then settles. Sophie, some people do. We're going to have to get into it. I need to know more. Dr. B's like, are we done yet? Yes, I see the time. Thank you. Jules said, I like to buy locally made products on trips. I was going to buy Texas pizza at Buc-ee's in Texas, but I checked the label and saw it was from North Carolina. Yeah, when I'm at Buc-ee's, I tend to buy things just made by Buc-ee's. Do you want to know my favorite thing? It's in my drawer. I love Buc-ee's. You guys know I love a gas station. I don't drive a gas vehicle, but I love a gas station. Why? Because I'm freaking obsessed with these. They're so good. Look, man. Buc-ee's has the good ice. First. Facts. And they only charge you like 50 cents or whatever for a cup of the good ice. And then you get these. So I love these. I will get the good ice, some type of fizzy water, and the sour belts. Oh, so good. But can I use it? Buc-ee, can I use it as a belt? I don't know. I don't know if I can. I've got questions. Let's see. There are already a lot of similar product names. Arizona iced tea, California rolls, streets of New York pizza. I know. I get it. Happy ADHD Awareness Month. I did not know that. Yay, us. Just call me Hen. Don't forget to check JB's tweet as he suggested. Have a wonderful week. I will absolutely check it. I have not been on the Twitters today, or I guess the X or whatever. I've not been on the X's today. It sounds so weird. That Miranda said, been a struggle with fight or flight, grandma with stage 3 kidney failure, husband with heart surgery. Can't even look at the news right now. Glad to be here. That Miranda, this is why when I talk about especially particularly difficult news, I talk about how I process it. Because if you want news coverage, there are amazing people who do incredible news coverage, like JB, who popped into the chat. I am here so we can all take a break and just be like, I have questions. Something smells strange. So that. Jennifer in the chat asked, is Dr. B a doctor or a baker or both? Dr. B is a doctor. Sometimes he also bakes things, but Dr. B is a doctor first and foremost. First and foremost, he is a professor at a dental school now. Shima said, this means so much to me. I'm in tears, Emily, and you're helping. I'm so glad. I'm here. Law nerds, look, I told somebody when we were, and I don't remember who I had this conversation with at Vid Summit, but I said one of the things about the way I structure my content is to make sure that you guys aren't sideswiped by things. So you know that when we are talking about something, that's what we're talking about. So you know that we can, you know what we can have a conversation about and what we're going to get. You know, when it's food court, that you can come in and be like, it's food court. I'm not going to be caught unaware by this other case that might be triggering. And that's really, really important to me. So Tinsley, yes, we need to decide if something is fact or fuckery. And sometimes we're here for the fuckery. I'm definitely, the way I watched all of Vanderpump Rules, all fuckery. I am here for fuckery. But I also don't want my facts to be fuckery. I want to know what my facts are. I want to know what my fuckery is. When I choose to go down the fuckery rabbit hole, I want to just be like going, wee, fuckery. But when we're looking for facts, I don't want you to dress fuckery up and pretend it's facts and gaslight me. That I can't do. Diana B liked the McDonald's coffee. The McDonald's coffee was a really serious case. And then it got distilled into people are suing because coffee's hot. It's like, it's more than that. Aldi has DIY cake kits. Oh my God, amazing. Make your own. Learning how to deal with rage was my entire 20s. I mean, Eric, same. But I also played a combat sport and that helped. And when I got injured, trying to figure out how to deal with it was difficult because I played a combat sport. Well, I guess then I became a district attorney and sometimes lawyering is a combat sport. Philadelphia cream cheese isn't from Philly. Lilith, I didn't know that. But I also never thought to look. I was never like, oh, I'm not going to buy this because it's not from Philadelphia. I never really thought about it. Sophie said, my ADHD autism means I get angry when pressured to make a decision or anything that's overwhelming, which is fair. Sometimes anger is our default response to being overwhelmed. I get that. And sometimes I get stuck in that too. It can put you into fight or flight when you're overwhelmed and pushed. It absolutely can, because it feels like your system's under attack. Give yourself lots of grace. I lost my Meow Buddy, so I need a laugh. New Mexico hot sauce is the best. Chat, we're not fighting over hot sauces just yet. I'll ask Ian Runkle. I will default to Runkle on it. So with all of that, you guys, Starbucks apparently doesn't have fruit in their fruit refreshers. And this plaintiff says they're being harassed over the Texas Pete hot sauce, and we're going to have to answer that question on Thursday. We're just doing food court for this week. I hope that you're all on board. Let's see the poll. Lawnards are like, yes, we're on board. Great. It's a week of food court. We're doing food court week. We're going to rabbit hole. I'll bring up the rest of the Mr. Beast stuff, and then we're going to go down the rabbit hole. And I will get into a more nuanced discussions about what they mean by capper agreements and stuff like that. I think that will be helpful. And hopefully it will give all of you guys a little bit of lightness in your week. Maybe on Thursday, I need to explore how much watermelon's actually in my salted watermelon whiskey. I'm just saying, members, I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 for our members only live stream. If you got gifted a membership today from all our incredibly generous Lawnards, I will see you there. It will be in your members only tab. You guys, thank you for being with me. Thank you for being like, let's just do something a little bit lighter and all being on that path. Thank you. John, thank you so much. We have to feel our emotions, but we definitely need to laugh about Texas Pete and Poopsie. So I'm surprised. It was great seeing you at Vid Summit. It was great seeing you at Vid Summit in 2021. It was great this year. It's going to be in Texas again next year. And I really look forward to being back next year. So y'all, Law Nerds, I adore you. Take care of yourselves. Hold space for yourselves. Take a break when you need to. It's okay. We're all going to process all the things. All the things. All right? With all of that, you guys, I have to say goodbye. I will see you tomorrow for members. I will see you Thursday. We're going to talk. We're going to talk all the things. We need to get to the bottom of this Texas Pete lawsuit because we are definitely not done. I was not expecting that to go that way today, and I'm kind of thankful that it did because now we have drama to investigate. And oh boy, the rabbit hole we're going to go jump down. All right. I will see you all on Wednesday and or Thursday. Bye, Law Nerds.
You can find all the Law Nerd goodies at lawnerdshop.com. Connect with me on social media at the Emily D. Baker. And don't forget to check out my podcasts, The Emily Show, and the new podcast, Quick Bits, summarizing everything I talk about on my Tuesday and Thursday live streams. You know, when you only have time for just the quick bits.